especially remember the deceased and surviving victims and their family members of the savage massacre at the Jewish Run Kenyon Mall. Our hearts are broken by the horrific detail. In their honor and to remember them, may we humble ourselves in a few moments of silence. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me and join the Wagoner High School Marching Band under the direction of Jeremy Williams, Dave Smith, and drum major Amber Ivy with the playing of our national anthem.
Check this one earlier.
Testing 1, 2. Welcome everyone to Friday Night Bulldogs. Hope you're able to hear the Wagoner High School Band bring to you the national anthem and the raising of the colors by Cub Scout Troop. If you'll let us know how everything is going. Either by text or through our chat room. Appreciate everyone that's logged on tonight for a Thursday edition, special edition of Friday Night Bulldogs. I'm Jeremy Holmes alongside Harlan Johnson tonight. Harlan, it's just great weather for football.
It's perfect weather for football, Jeremy. Ready to get it going. I'm sure the players are ready to get it going tonight, as I believe when I got out of the car, my car says 62 degrees, and I'm sure we'll be falling, but that's perfect for this time of year. And really this year, not too much to complain about in the weather department for any of the games so far. Let's knock on wood for that.
There is not. We're looking at the flags, and it doesn't seem like there is any breeze whatsoever. So you're looking at almost a picture-perfect night for Friday Night Bulldogs. If we can get I'm sure everyone has seen the moon, but man, it looks great from here as into the black sky as we await the kickoff of Wagoner versus Oologah Mustangs. The captains have already been out on the field, and the coin toss has been made. I believe Wagoner has won the coin toss and is elected to receive to start this game. Game number 7 for us here in Wagoner, as Wagoner has been perfect so far and look to make it a perfect 7-0 as they may, Harlan, face their toughest match of the season with the Oologah Mustangs.
Well, I definitely think this is the toughest match that's left anyways on the season. Looking here at the schedule, Jeremy, October 25th, it's going to Cleveland. Shouldn't be any problem there. November 1st, Tulsa Webster at home. And November 8th going all the way to Veneta tonight definitely has implications for the district championship this time around, as Oologah is undefeated in conference play and the Bulldogs undefeated not only in conference play but the entire season so far. So definitely should be a good one tonight. And Jeremy, if I'm honest, I don't want to be the pessimist here. Maybe a little bit of doubt in my mind about the Bulldogs tonight, because the last couple weeks they pulled out the victories. In fact, last week went on to win very big. But honestly, to me, wasn't the best showing for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, there are maybe a few questions in mind tonight. Is again, the Bulldogs will be facing the toughest match of the season up to this point, anyway, as Oologah has a quarterback that has gone over 1,000 combined yards. Harlan, as we were talking about that during the pregame, this may be the best quarterback that Wagoner has seen up to this point. Defense at times has been suspect, and we may see a little bit of that tonight, but it just seems like that every time that the Bulldog defense gives ground, they come up with some big play, whether it's a fourth down stand or it's creating turnovers. It seems like almost every drive it ends in some kind of big play like that for the defense.
Definitely. I remember talking about this way back at the beginning of the season. Many people probably don't remember this, the Coweta game. We kept talking about, man, the defense, it's bending but not breaking, and that's sort of been true for the entire season for the defense. There's been some bend but not breaking. When their backs have been against the wall, they've been able to turn it around, and as Jeremy said, able to produce that turnover and kind of go from there. And so, it's going to be interesting to see what the Bulldogs pull out here tonight, going up against a quarterback that does have a combined 1,000 yards gained. 600 of those yards, Jeremy, are passing yards, 400 on the ground. And we've definitely seen some wide receivers get past our secondary in the previous few games.
Well, and lucky for Bulldog fans and Bulldog team is we've actually seen a couple of good quarterbacks that have put a lot of passes on the money, and just a lot of those passes have been dropped, Harlan. And we have seen that just about every week, and the quarterback doing all that they can. As their running game hasn't been strong at all in the previous 6 weeks, but they have a lot of times those quarterbacks have put the ball on the money, and the receivers have just plain dropped it. Maybe due to a couple of big hits that our cornerbacks and safeties have put on them after they caught the ball.
Definitely, Jeremy. Looks like there's going to be. Why not start the game off with a referee blowing a whistle? Hopefully, we won't run into that issue like we did last week with conferences and penalties. But Jeremy's right. The quarterbacks that we've seen going against the Wagoner Bulldogs this season, they really have been solid, been accurate, and just not getting a lot of help from their receivers. We probably won't see that tonight.
And here is the opening kickoff, Franklin for the Mustangs. And this is going to be number 6, Deshaun Clark. Clark in the open, and oh boy, he was tripped up as he was just about off for the races. Number 6, Deshaun Clark, was looking for pay dirt, and he was tripped up right at about the 35-yard line.
Yeah, and Jeremy, some frustration there early on, because that was a Bulldog that tripped him up there, and he had all kinds of room, all kinds of space. He was just dreaming of the end zone right there to start out with. But the Bulldogs going to take over on offense. Let's see what they can get established here early on in the game.
Got tripped up right before he got to the 35-yard line. The ball is going to be placed at about the 33. It's Jake Woodson from the shotgun on a 1st and 10. Woodson going to the air. Got a man down sideline. That's Evatt. Evatt in open field, and he's not going to be caught. That's touchdown already. Man, oh man, Harlan. How do you lose sight of number 1 in red?
I don't know if they were looking for a run coming out of the first play, but it looked like they were not ready for the pass. Evatt's wide open. I don't know how you do that. We talked about the Oologah quarterback being a combined 1,000-yard producer on the offensive side. Lawrence Evatt has rushed for over 1,000 yards and scored 15 touchdowns this season. That's number 16. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you leave him that open.
That was a we're going to call it 68-yard touchdown toss to number 1, Lawrence Evatt, by the quarterback, Jake Woodson. And we're 20 seconds into this ball game. We're going to include that opening kickoff and the 2 opening kickoffs, actually, because we blew it dead for some reason as the extra point is up and good, but we do have another flag come in before the kick. And offsides is the call against the Mustangs. And you gotta say early at least that the Mustangs right now are on their heels.
Definitely, for sure. I think the Bulldogs must have heard me talking about, I don't want to be the pessimist, but here, and then all of a sudden, boom, 6-0 since the offside. The first one went in. We'll see if he can do the second. I'm fully confident that he can. But I think they heard something and came out, and Evett showed us what he can do, as we know.
Barnett with the hold. This is Tanner Rowland with the extra point, and it is good as he has been all season long. Wagoner Bulldogs 7, Oologah Mustangs 0, again, including that opening kickoff. And, I wish I would have looked to see what the time on the clock was from the snap to the pass and to Evett on the run. But including that beginning kickoff, we're just 20 seconds into this thing. It's already 7-0.
So if we're going on this, who knows what the score could end up being. But we also haven't seen Oologah on the offensive side of the ball yet. And, again, Wagoner doesn't do a whole lot of passing, or at least we haven't seen that. So, again, we talked about it each week. We've sort of seen something new from the Wagoner offense every single week, a little bit of a new wrinkle, maybe a different way to line up. So something Oologah wasn't ready for there. We'll see what types of adjustments they make moving forward, and really be looking to see what the defense does on this first series for Oologah's offense.
I think it was a wheel route that Evett ran, and they just lost sight of him. But whether he's running the ball or whether he's out and on a pass play, you can't lose sight of number one.
For sure. You got to know where he's at all times. That's like rule number 1 against the Bulldogs.
This is Rowland on the kick. Number 5 will be Despain on the kickoff return, and found a crease but was tackled from behind as he gets to the 30-yard line. Oologah Mustangs will have a first down on their own 30-yard line as they get their first opportunity of this game to see what they can do on offense. It's going to be number 1, I believe. No, that's number 7. Number 7, looks like a junior quarterback, Peyton Craig, from the shotgun for the Mustangs. Craig with the handoff straight up the middle as he gains about 3 yards. Looks like number 61, that'd be Derek Marshall. Again, Harlan, as we chronicled last week about a former Bulldog, Kyle Emmons, involved in really an ambush as he is a soldier in Afghanistan and lost his leg. Also some other injuries, and Derek Marshall is wearing his number in his honor. Marshall usually wears number 62 as number 40 for Oologah. It makes that last carry for good yardage, Jimmy McKinney, but there is a flag on the play. Marshall usually wearing 62, wears 61. I believe he's going to do that for the rest of this season in honor of Kyle Emmons, a 2011, I believe, graduate of Wagoner High School.
Yeah, a big-time way to honor Emmons here, and I know the Bulldogs, the entire team for the Bulldogs and all of our fans want to make sure that we remember him in his recovery.
And as the comments start rolling into our chat room, we appreciate everyone that's logged on. We hope you're able to see that touchdown pass. Here's Oologah on a 1st and 10. Here's the quarterback on the left side, and he is hit at the 50-yard line. I believe that was by number 3, A.J. Freeth. Craig with the bounce. We're going to give him 3 yards on that play. Ball is at midfield, 2nd and 7 for the Mustangs.
Yeah, and Jeremy, the Mustangs, they're running that read option out of the shotgun, and that's been the offense that's sort of been a thorn in the side, if you will, for the Bulldogs this season. It hasn't hurt them yet, but it's been the one that's gotten the most yards against them, I would say.
Here's Craig from the shotgun again. Handoff straight up the middle. Not this time, though, as I believe that's number 42, K.J. Lee, meets him in the backfield for a loss back to the 47, back to the original where they started out after that penalty was called. And I believe that was a incidental face mask penalty that the Bulldogs had gotten. and that was gave them the 1st and 10. Now we're at 3rd and 9 after the KJ Lee loss, tackle for a loss of 2. Here's Craig going to throw this time. A little wide receiver screen. Catch is made and gets into Bulldog territory, but Evett is able to bring him down as number 5, Braden Despain, makes the catch for about a 7-yard gain. Harlan, it's going to be 4th and a long 3. Are you going to punt it away?
Yeah, you got to punt early on. You got kicked in the mouth to come out early. You got to try to flip the field a little bit here. Good job by the Bulldog defense. It looked like that's probably a play Oologah is going to run quite a bit, is that wide receiver screen. They dealt with it well early on. We'll see what happens with the kick.
Back deep to receive this punt. I believe that's number 2, Hayden Ford. He's going to have a chance to return it. Ford just gets it straight up the gut as he was not able to get behind that wall. He returns it to about the 23-yard line, and that's where the Bulldogs will have it on their second possession. 1st and 10, ball on their own 23-yard line. 8:53 left to go in this first quarter. And, again, we appreciate everyone that has logged on tonight. Call your friends up and tell them this is a special edition, Thursday night edition of Friday Night Bulldogs. Regina Osea and Bambi BC, Beverly Cannon, Quita James, we see you guys in our chat room. Appreciate the support of Friday Night Bulldogs as the Bulldogs have it on their own 23. 1st and 10. This will be Woodson. I believe that's Woodson up under center this time. I formation, man in motion, and here is Evett. Evett hit right at the line of scrimmage, able to bounce it a little outside and gets to the 26-yard line, gain of 3. And Harlan, those black numbers on those maroon jerseys sometimes a little hard to see.
Well, that's what I always forget to wear my glasses up here, Jeremy. So I'm like, you're always saying numbers. I'm like, is that really what that number is? Okay, I'm going to go with it. But yeah, definitely a little hard to see. Oologah numbers a little easier on the the blue on the white there. So shouldn't struggle as much with that one.
Be Woodson up under center on a 2nd and 7. I formation, man in motion again. And here's a pitch out to Evett. Coming near side, and he is dragged down from behind by number 6 for the Mustangs. That's Nick Johns, making a great defensive pursuit from the backside. Evett showing a little patience there, trying to see where a hole might open, and Johns makes a great play from the backside.
Made a great play to bring him down, and Jeremy, maybe any play to bring Evett down anymore is a great play, but it's going to bring up a 3rd and 7 here. As the Bulldogs offense really to continue their momentum needs to pick this one up and keep the drive going. From the Oologah perspective, if they can hold the Bulldogs here to 4th down and make them punt, then they've really kind of swung this momentum around the other way.
A loss of 2 on that play, 3rd and 9. It'll be Woodson from the shotgun. He rolls to his right, looking downfield, now puts it downfield, and just outside the hands of his intended receiver, I believe that was number 3, A.J. Freeth. Good coverage by the Mustangs.
That was good coverage. It was actually a good throw by Woodson. He was double covered, but Woodson put it really in the only place that the Bulldog receiver had a shot at it. He wasn't able to bring it in, but again, a good play by Woodson because the ball goes out of bounds at that point, and they live to punt and try to flip the field back the other way.
That's a good point to make, Harlan, as Woodson did put it only where Freeth would be able to, because if he throws it behind Freeth on a backside shoulder, that ball's picked off.
Ball's picked off, and they've got a free reign and a touchdown maybe.
Here's the punt by Beats. Trouble with the snap, but Beats has all kinds of time and gets a really good punt off, and it is going to roll dead at about the 44-yard line of the Mustangs. Scary moment there for Bulldog fans as Beats had trouble with the snap, little low, but had great punt blocks, and he had plenty of time to get that away. What I am surprised that we didn't see was an illegal man downfield because it took a long time to get that punt.
It was a long time there, but a good job by Beats just to not get too anxious about it, still get the kickoff, and puts Oologah at the 45 in their own territory to start off with here as Oologah comes back out in the shotgun formation.
Craig from the shotgun on a 1st and 10. That's a handoff to number 40 as goes to the other side, the far side. Number 40 is Jimmy McKinney, a 6'1 sophomore, 208 pounds. That's a big old boy around that left side, but he slipped on the turf, and he's actually going to lose 2.
slipped on the turf there. I think, Jeremy, if he would have kept on running there, not pulled up, I'm not sure the rest would have stopped it, but he kind of stopped and slowed down, and the referees blew the whistle. So maybe the Bulldogs caught a break on that one.
I think you're right, because he did. He immediately let up after he went down. There were no whistles that were blown for sure. Here's Craig up under center. He's going to throw it this time. He's looking way downfield. He's got a man in double coverage, and he goes up to get it. A nice catch by number 5, Braden Despain. Harlan, that was in double coverage, and he went up high to get it.
All I can say is, wow. He went up and fought for that ball, and we see the arm there that we kind of heard about first. From the quarterback. He threw that ball up there. It's double coverage, and he just jumps up at the height of the ball and catches it, brings it down. Big play for the Oologah offense.
About a 27-yard gain from quarterback Craig to Despain. Despain is a 6'2 sophomore, and we saw his 6'2 frame going as much as he could to go up and get that ball. Here's the handoff straight up the middle to number 40. We just called his number a couple of plays ago, Jimmy McKinney. McKinney is going to get to the 25-yard line. They're going to give him forward progress for a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
And, Jeremy, we're watching them right now, and they're a threat right now, but quarterback's a junior, receiver's a sophomore. Oologah is going to be pretty solid for a couple years to come, but they're a threat tonight.
Craig from the shotgun. He's got McKinney in the backfield. This will be McKinney again. No. Quarterback keeps it and now swings it over to number 8, and that's a great open field tackle by number 17. That's Chase Barnett coming up from the corner position. Number 8 was Keenan Ferry. Harlan, I saw, speaking of Chase Barnett, I saw him earlier this morning running a 5K in Veneta at a conference cross-country meet.
It's always good to see our athletes be a double athlete, sometimes triple or quadruple athletes, and that's just the warm-up run for tonight for him.
Here's Craig looking downfield. He's got a man open, and he almost comes up with a carpet grab. That was number 5, Despain. Harlan, Craig had him open, and it was for a touchdown.
If Craig puts that even just a couple inches higher, that's taking it all the way in for Despain. Not quite able to dive down and bring that one in. Craig missed an opportunity there. It may come back to haunt them. You never know, as they're trying to get something established on the offensive side. And, Jeremy, this brings up 4th down. He missed the receiver wide open for the end zone on 3rd down and 4.
It was a deep post route, and he had him open. Here's a 4th and 4 for the Mustangs. It'll be Craig from the shotgun. He's going to throw it. Here's a wide receiver screen, and that's McKinney. McKinney running hard, and he'll get the 1st down as he crosses the 15 to about the 14-yard line. So the Oologah Mustangs on their first drive, I believe they went 3 and out, and now the Mustangs are threatening.
Getting something established here, developing that momentum, not giving the ball back there after 4th down is huge for the Mustangs that time. McKinney did a great job bringing the ball in. He kind of found a wall, but then made a way to get to that 1st down.
This will be Craig from the shotgun. McKinney in the backfield with him, man in motion. Now gets set. And here's McKinney. McKinney over the right side, running hard as he gets across the 10 to about the 7-yard line. And right now, we talked about the Oologah Mustangs being on their heels. Wagoner Bulldog defense is on their heels right now.
Yeah, they definitely are. I think, again, going back to that 4th down play, that kind of took a little bit of the wind out of their sails for the Bulldog defense. But they're going to have to come back here. It's 2nd down and 4 to go now, and Oologah is pushing, trying to get that touchdown.
Craig from the shotgun. This is McKinney again, bounces to the outside. He's inside the 5 to about the 4-yard line as the Oologah Mustangs get closer to yet another 1st down. Looks like they're going to come up a little bit short, and now it's going to be 3rd and less than 1.
And on 3rd and 1 here, I don't know. They've been going to the run, McKinney. We may see a little bit of play action here since they are tending to be a passing team, but maybe with the short yardage, they may just leave it up the middle.
Well, it looks as though they're going to because we got a full backfield. Here's McKinney over the left side, and he will score. Touchdown, Oologah Mustangs. Number 4 is Jimmy McKinney. from about 4 yards away for the score. Harlan, that was a big hole between his tackle and guard, and really no one even touched him until he got to about the 1 yard line.
Definitely there, Jeremy, but I'm not sure that I saw one small guy out on the field for the offense that time. They had all their big men out there, and the offensive line able to get a huge push for Oologah, the Mustangs, and McKinney able to pretty easily push it into the end zone, and we'll see if they can tie this one up on the extra point.
Extra point is up, and it is good. That's number 1, Mark Franklin. And all of a sudden, we talked about how quick the Bulldogs scored. Well, Oologah has just tied this game up 7-7. 3 minutes, 2 seconds left in this first quarter. And this first quarter of Friday Night Bulldogs is brought to you by Smokin' Sisters. Smokin' Sisters, they actually were helping out grad night tonight. They had, I believe, a trailer out front and barbecue sandwich and chips and a drink. I think had it for $6. You can't beat that because Smokin' Sisters got great barbecue.
You can't beat that. $6 for a full meal, and not only that, but they're helping out grad night, supporting our seniors, and Smokin' Sisters Barbecue does a great job supporting the community, and we appreciate them supporting Friday Night Bulldogs once again. And just thank you so much for their sponsorship, because we couldn't do what we do here without them helping us out. And be sure to go out there and visit them, and you will not be disappointed by their food.
And again, Harlan, you might not want to eat too much of it because you'll soon be visiting our next sponsor along with the Smokin' Sisters, Three Rivers Surgical Center. We appreciate their support of Friday Night Bulldogs as well in this first quarter. 7-7, 3 minutes and 2 seconds left as Mark Franklin kicks the ball away, and he's going to kick it right to the middle, and this is pitched back. This is Evatt looking for some room, and he gets across the 25 to about the 26.
Looks like a flag down on that one, Jeremy.
We're either going to have a holding call, or I believe there might have been a face mask call. Might have been incidental. We'll see what happens as Evatt. Little pitch back. Kind of odd that they did that so deep, and there's that holding call that we were talking about. That'll be a 10-yard penalty. And right now, the Bulldogs are going to be backed up against their own end zone as this ball is going to come inside the 20-yard line. It's going to be spotted at about the 14-yard line as the refs mark off the spot. It's actually going to be placed at the 13-yard line. That's where the Bulldogs will have it 1st and 10.
And not the best scenario. I mean, maybe the worst scenario for the Bulldogs to taking it back over on offense. They just gave up the touchdown on the other side. They come out, try to get something by doing the little toss back. Didn't work out because of the holding call, and we'll see what they get going here.
1st and 10 play, and I believe this is Woodson again. And here's an inside handoff to Evatt. They faked it to Lee going the other way, and Evatt comes back this way with it as he crosses the 15 to about the 16-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 4 on the play. They're going to place it at the 17-yard line. About a 2nd and 6, as we appreciate everyone that's logged on tonight. Cody Allison, we know that he's listening from Hawaii, and we appreciate Cody Allison, a veteran in the Army, that stationed in the Army, I believe, out in Hawaii, and we appreciate him logging on as he has been able to stay with us for the last couple of weeks on a Friday night, but this time obviously it's a Thursday night. We appreciate everyone that's logged on as Woodson takes a snap. There's trouble with the snap, and Evatt falls on it in the background, and all of a sudden the Bulldogs are facing a 3rd and long.
Again, talked about it already. Not a good scenario for the Bulldogs. Really a big 3rd down here. Even if you don't get the 1st down, you want to get as much as you can here because you don't want to punt from your own end zone. But best case scenario, we see a 1st down after this play here for the Bulldogs to get something started. If not, they risk giving that momentum to the Mustangs here. As we already talked about, this is going to be most likely a heavily fought match here all throughout the game.
A loss of 5 on the play, 3rd and 11 from the 12-yard line. Harlan, they've got to be careful here as there's a little bit of confusion on the lineup as the receiver on the far side now comes to the near side on this 3rd and 11. It'll be Woodson from the shotgun. Got Evatt in the backfield, rolls to his left, looking way downfield. That was number 3, A.J. Freeth. And, that we're just lucky to come out with that. And we may not want to speak so quickly, as we had trouble on that last punt as we were coming up on a 4th down.
Yeah, trouble on the last punt. Beats was able to get it off last time, but now kicking from his own end zone, or at least the shadow of the end zone. He'll be standing right around the Owen Dogs there. So going to need a good snap here. But, Jeremy, I'll get back to that in just a minute.
Here's Beats. Pretty clean snap as he hangs it up high, and the Oologah Mustang calls for a fair catch. That was number 3 for the Mustangs, Logan Armstrong, at about the 40-yard line, but not only the 40-yard line, it's the 40-yard line of the Bulldogs.
40-yard line in Bulldog territory. And, Jeremy, where I was going with that a second ago is on 3rd down, threw me off a little bit. I was thinking Woodson's coming out, rolling to his left. All of a sudden I see him throw left-handed. That was actually Charbonneau out there playing quarterback for the Bulldogs that time. Incomplete pass. They punt. Oologah takes over now on the Bulldog 40-yard line.
Here's Craig from the shotgun. He's going to hand off to McKinney over the left side. Tries to turn that corner. And speaking of the corner, you got the corner back, and I believe the safety coming up on that, A.J. Freeth, and number 1, Paris Evans, or not Paris Evans, sorry. I believe that's a younger or an older cousin, I believe. But Lawrence Evans coming up and making the tackle along with Freeth for a loss of 2.
That's a big-time play by those guys coming up and making a stop in the run game. Not only a stop, but a loss of a yard on that one.
Craig from the shotgun on a 2nd and a long 11. Craig going to go to the air. Craig, plenty of time, now fires, makes the throw and catch right at about the 30-yard line. I believe that's Despain again. And right now, Harlan, Despain, we need to mark him up.
For sure, you can almost call it before it happens as the first quarter comes to an end. Despain's been the go-to target. He did a really good job there of kind of just finding a hole in the defense, sitting down, literally had his knee on the ground, but able to bring the ball in. And they're right there, close to the first down. I think they even got the first down. We'll see how they mark it when they get back.
I'm sorry, I had to take a double take on when you said that was the end of the first quarter, because that just seemed like it flew by.
Well, I tell you what, after what we went through last week, Jeremy, and I think the second quarter lasted at least an hour alone in the second quarter. We haven't been used to those quarters going by real fast, and I'm not sure if we can make it through because I think there's only maybe one referee conference this week.
We appreciate Smoking Sisters and 3 Rivers Surgical Center both sponsoring our first quarter. Even though it flew by, we appreciate their support of Smoking Sisters Barbecue right there on Highway 69 in the building of Meats and More, and 3 Rivers Surgical Center in Muskogee. And we appreciate their support of Friday Night Bulldogs. This will be a 3rd and 1, a long one when we get back to the play. Again, Despain making that catch at the Bulldog 31, and it'll be 3rd and 1 from there for the Mustangs on the Bulldog 31. Looks like we got I formation. McKinney will be the tailback. Fullback, I believe that's the number 21. And here's McKinney. McKinney stuffed in the backfield for a loss. That's number 61 and 57. 61, Derek Marshall, and 57, Malik Clayton. That's really the first time we've seen that as far as McKinney running the ball.
Definitely. That was a big-time play by the Bulldog defense. You know, it was the stark opposite of what we saw down by the goal line where there was this huge hole created. The offensive line was able to get the push. That time the Bulldog defense just punched him in the face and pushed him back, able to get McKinney for a loss. Brings up a 4th and looks like a long 3, maybe 4 yards there to go. A big-time 4th down play.
Yeah, they lost 2 on that play, and now it's a 4th and 3. This will be Craig from the shotgun. McKinney straight up the middle. McKinney running hard.
Looks like he's got it.
Yeah, he got it. He needed to get to the 30. He got to the 29. KJ Lee to make the stop. But number 40, Jimmy McKinney, a 6'1", 208-pound sophomore running back, running hard for the Mustangs.
And so far, Jeremy, we already talked about Despain and the Oologah Mustang quarterback, but McKinney has been somebody we've been saying his name over and over and over here early on in the game, and they just keep pumping him the ball. And so we'll look to see how that keeps going. Again, in my mind, I'm thinking that maybe they're going to try to set up the play-action pass later in the game.
I tell you, right now, the Bulldog faithful are pretty quiet here. You see him trying to get something going as you cheer on defense on a 1st and 10 play. Here's Craig with the play action. Craig looking deep downfield, and the catch is made by Despain. Touchdown, Mustangs. Wow.
Late signal by the referee there. I was kind of waiting to see what he did. It looked like it was there, but Despain with a great catch. I don't know if it was maybe a push-off there from Despain, but there was kind of some jockeying going on back and forth, and Bulldog fans, you may not like this, but I like the no call there because it was really both ways.
Yeah, it was. They were kind of hand checking back and forth, and Despain, it looked like there at the end, maybe got one last little push, and great over-the-shoulder grab by number 5, a sophomore, 6'2", 180, Braden Despain for the Mustangs. Here's the extra point, and it is good. Number 1, Mark Franklin, able to put his Oologah Mustangs up 14-7. And Harlan, you know as well as I do, we have not said those words very often this whole season about an opposing team putting more scores on the board than the Wagoner Bulldogs. I'm having trouble even spitting it out.
That's right. We can't even imagine saying it here in the press box from W.L. Odom. And the Bulldogs, I think this may be, I want to say only the second time that they trail, but for sure only the third time this entire season that they find themselves not on the winning side, or not, I don't want to say on the winning side. We still got a lot of game to go here, but not on the upper side in the battle. And Oologah's come out. They got, early on, the Bulldogs able to push in a quick score as they lose sight of Evatt, but the Oologah Mustangs have all the momentum on their side, and they've kind of got it going on defense and offense.
Right now, Craig to Despain is looking more like Montana to Rice, as they've had a great couple of hookups, and that one there went for 29 yards for the score. Oologah Mustangs 14, Wagoner Bulldogs 7. 10 minutes and 34 seconds left in this second quarter as Franklin with the ensuing kickoff. It's going to be number 25, Devin Hawkins, from about his own 7-yard line. Hawkins breaks the tackle,
Jeremy.
And he's straight up the middle, and a great return. And the Bulldogs needed that, Harlan, because their offense sputtered that last drive, and Hawkins gives them great field position to start. I believe it's their fourth drive of the game. We punted twice. It was the Evatt touchdown early. This will be the fourth drive of the game for the Bulldogs.
I tell you what, it never seems to fail. When the Bulldogs need something, where do they turn to? Devin Hawkins seems to come up with a big play, whether that's defense with the interception or picking up a fumble and taking it to the house. We've seen that this season, or in the special teams game. Hawkins is able to provide that little spark that the Bulldogs need. We'll see if it translates into the offense here.
I believe that's number 5, Jake Woodson, up under center on a 1st and 10 from the Bulldog 4-yard line. Here's number 44 for the Bulldogs. Must have decided that they are going to run him since they were on the 44-yard line. That's Roman Rodriguez.
44 on the 44, and Jeremy, he's toying with 200 yards on the season now. I believe the stat was, if I'm correct, that he's averaging about 8 yards per carry on the season. So for a fullback, that's a pretty incredible number there. But Roman Rodriguez doing a great job, getting about 4 on the play.
Yeah, he's keeping it in the 4s, at least on this play. 44 on the 44, 4-4. Say that 4 times fast. All right. Second, we're actually going to give, we'll call it 4. 2nd and 6, and here's Evatt. Evatt across the 50 to the Oologah Mustang 49-yard line. He's going to pick up 3 on the play. We're going to be looking at a third and right at 3, Harlan.
3rd and 3, and Jeremy, I don't know what to expect here. Maybe, again, the Wildcat, as it's more of a short yardage thing here. And they tend to go, it seems like, to the Wildcat in those short yards situations. And maybe they'll have somebody in the backfield with Evatt as he's in the Wildcat to give that kind of read option look.
And speaking of that, it is number 44 in the Wildcat formation, Rodriguez. And remember, we learned last week that he could throw it, but this time he hands it off. This is Evatt. Evatt trying to turn the corner, and he does. And he is finally shoved out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. He had to break a couple of tackles to get there, though.
I was a little worried. Sort of one of those, he's moving laterally instead of going north and south there. And, as he's doing that, I'm going, what are you doing? We need to go that way. We need to get the first down here. But he's able to make a couple people miss, gets those feet moving. And long story short, first down and 10 for the Bulldogs.
You were talking about that Wildcat formation. I believe that was actually the first time we've seen that tonight from Rodriguez on a 3rd and 3. Now here's Woodson up under center on a 1st and 10 play. And here's KJ Lee. KJ Lee across the 40 to the 36-yard line. And now you get a sense that the Bulldog offense is getting into a rhythm here.
Yeah, they're definitely developing a rhythm. That time the Bulldog offensive line able to push back the Mustang defensive line, created a huge hole for the freshman KJ Lee that time. And Jeremy, I can identify what that is right down there. That's a conference on the field from the referees. Don't know what they're talking about. But they got the ball spotted. Now the Bulldogs back to the line of scrimmage.
It's a 2nd and a long 3 for the Bulldogs. Woodson up under center. Here's an inside handoff to Rodriguez. Rodriguez looking for first down yardage as he gets to about the 32-yard line. It's going to be close.
Looks like he's going to call it first down 10 for the Bulldogs as the referee pushes it forward. Good run that time as the Bulldogs looking to maybe grind it out on the Mustang defense here on this offensive possession.
And Bambi BC giving a little shout out to the Wagoner High School Mass Communications class, saying that she loves that Zoom. So we appreciate the WHS Mass Communications class putting on Friday Night Bulldogs for us as the Bulldogs have a 1st and 10. And Woodson from the shotgun. Ball's on the ground, and it's still on the ground. And number 50 able to come up and make a big play for the Wagoner Bulldogs. That's Wyatt Probst. And, wow, we just dodged a bullet there.
Dodged a bullet there as he was able to jump on that ball. It was rolling around all over the place. And, Jeremy, we may have dodged a bullet here in the press box as somebody up here wasn't happy about that one.
No, we thought we were going to have to dodge more than a bullet, maybe a couple of bodies coming through the ceiling as they were stomping around. That was either the Mustangs wanting that ball or the Bulldogs wanting it recovered. Either way, we're safe and sound up here. That was about a 7-yard loss. We're going to call it, well, we'll call it a 6-yard loss. 2nd and 16 now for the Bulldogs as it's Rodriguez from the Wildcat. Again, a little bit of a confusion back there as we're switching around in the backfield. And now it's Evatt from the Wildcat. Evatt going to take it himself over the left side, and he slips at about the 41-yard line. That's the bad thing that I've heard about the turf. When you have, when it starts cooling down and a little bit of moisture gets down there, it gets real slick.
Gets slick, and we've already seen on both sides of the ball people slipping around, sliding, and hitting down early. But, Jeremy, we talked about just a moment ago that the Bulldogs kind of were getting into rhythm on the offensive side. All of a sudden, the last 2 plays, they're out of that rhythm, and they got to start all over. Not only are they starting all over, but it's 3rd and 18.
3rd and 18 from the Mustang 40. We talked about the offense getting in that rhythm. Well, right now it's rhythm and blues, I believe, as we're going the wrong way. And Woodson on a 3rd and 18. He's going to go to the air. He's looking for Freeth. Freeth tries to go up, and it's intercepted. Intercepted, and Freeth able to sling him out of bounds as that time. And you wonder, maybe at the fans at home, wondering why you throw it up like that. But we've seen Freeth go up high for it, and you're trusting your receiver to go up and make a play.
He was putting trust in his receiver, throwing it up there like that. But what I didn't like is it didn't matter. He was throwing it there no matter what. He wasn't looking around anywhere else. But it was 3rd and 18. It works like a punt in that situation, and there's no chance of that going to be a touchback. So it works out for the Bulldogs. They're on defense now.
Mustangs 1st and 10 on their own 13-yard line. After that interception by number 3, Logan Armstrong, it'll be Craig from the shotgun. Craig going to take it himself, and Craig makes good yardage, still on his feet. He's across the 25, now to the 30, finally driven out of bounds to the, looks like at about the 31-yard line by Freeth. Freeth able to tackle number 7, Peyton Craig, the junior quarterback, and now all of a sudden an 18-yard gain, and the Mustangs picked up right where they left off.
Big-time run by the quarterback. First time we got to see that. We talked about it at the beginning of the game. He's a pass and a run threat. We saw the run that time. He's back in shotgun formation now.
Here's McKinney over the right side, and he is tackled as he falls forward. I believe that's number 25, Devin Hawkins, on the tackle. McKinney will get about half a yard. We'll go ahead and call it 2nd and 9 as the ball is placed just inside the 32-yard line of the Mustangs.
McKinney not able to get anything going that time. But again, now the Bulldog defense, they've seen that first flash of the quarterback, and they got to be watching for that run-pass threat going with that. And Jeremy, as we have just very little time, Runt's Barbecue, sponsor for the second quarter here. We have another we'll talk about in just a little bit.
This is Craig from the shotgun. Here's McKinney straight up the middle, and he's met by K.J. Lee and company. I believe that was number 42. K.J. Lee hits him high, and number 44, Roman Rodriguez, hits him low. As we are at the 5-minute mark of this second quarter, Harlan, you mentioned Runts, and also Van Taekwondo sponsoring Friday Night Bulldogs for this second quarter. And again, I think they almost did this on purpose, because you eat enough of Runts, you're going to need to go to Van Taekwondo to work some of that off.
That's for sure. You got to take care of those calories quick, and Van Taekwondo can help you do that.
Here's a 3rd and 5 play, and there is a fake down the middle. That's intercepted. Oh, and now it's dropped. Oh, on a 3rd and 5 play, it looked like it was a great fake by Craig, the quarterback, as we all thought, or at least I thought, that he was handing off and going straight up the middle, and I know a lot of the Bulldog defenders did.
Yeah, it was great play action fake there, and Bulldogs able to almost come up with the interception there, as actually the Bulldogs tended to stay home in the secondary that time. There was double coverage there, and I believe that was Freeth, if I'm correct, trying to jump in front of that one, not quite able to bring it in. Flag down on the play going against the Mustangs this time.
Looks like it was an illegal substitution by the Mustangs. That'll be a 5-yard penalty on that play. But and of course, you know who Craig was looking for. It was number 5, Despain, but Freeth able to make a play on the ball and almost come up with the interception.
And it's a good thing that he jumped in front of that one, because if Despain catches it, he had some defenders he had to beat, but he's already shown he's got some speed and some moves, and so he's definitely somebody, as much as they can't let Evatt out of their sights, we can't let Despain out of our sights.
I believe this is number 34, Hunter Gibson, punting the ball away. Nice high punt. This will be number 2, Hayden Ford. Ford still on his feet. Now he's down the sidelines. Ford running hard, and now he is finally tackled at about the 30-yard line. A nice piece of running by the senior, Hayden Ford, as he was stopped dead in his tracks at about the 48 and was able to shake off a couple of tacklers.
Big time run by Ford there, able to find a way to stay on his feet, as he was basically swung around by that defender there. Finally gets a blocker in front of him, and then just takes off, and Mustangs bring him down at the 30-yard line, but the Bulldogs have it at the 30-yard line in Mustang territory this time.
It's about a 25-yard punt return, and maybe we can see a spark now in the Bulldog offense as Woodson up under center. This is Rodriguez in the motion, and here's number 25, Devin Hawkins. Hawkins hit after about a 1-yard gain, but he turns in 1-3.
Turns 1-3, and I'm shaking my head with a big smile on my face here, because it seems like he shouldn't be able to do that after everything he's been through. Should Hawkins be able to do that? But he pushes forward and is able to gain 3 on that one, and just incredible. Not a huge play, not a big thing, brings up 2nd and 7 there, but it's the little things that Hawkins does that impresses you.
Number 5, Woodson from the shotgun. Hawkins will be the deep tailback on this 2nd and 7 play. Here's Woodson. Woodson got, that's a great catch by Rodriguez. He had him open in the flat, threw it behind him. He had to reach back. One hand is a great grab.
Great grab by Rodriguez. I think Woodson, there was a little bit of anxiety there in the backfield, some confusion, as there was one fake, and he turned around to fake it to somebody else, and they weren't there. And he turned around and had him, Rodriguez, open. Didn't make a great throw, but his receiver helps him out, and they gain a couple more yards. Going to bring up a 3rd and about 4.
Harlan, you talked about the little things. Again, a little thing there. It's a 4-yard gain, but now you've got a 3rd and 3 instead of a 3rd and 7.
That's right. It keeps them on schedule, Jeremy, and that's where they need to be at.
Here's Evatt from the Wildcat. Evatt will take it over the right side, and he is hit in the backfield by number 40. We've called his number plenty of times on the offensive side, but that's on the defensive side this time. Jimmy McKinney, the sophomore linebacker, able to tackle Evatt right at the line of scrimmage. We're gonna go ahead and call it 4th and 3 now for the Bulldogs. Ball at the 23-yard line. It's decision-making time now for the Bulldogs.
Decision-making time. I think they're going to go for it, but I would really expect to see a timeout and talk this one over, Jeremy, with We're under 2.5 to go in the half now, but it doesn't look like they're going to take that timeout. They're going to go ahead and go for it, and we'll see what happens.
Their field goal kicker, Rowland, has plenty of leg, but they're going to opt for Rodriguez from the Wildcat. Rodriguez over the right side. Big hole. Rodriguez racing to the corner.
He's going to score.
Touchdown, Bulldogs. Number 44, Roman Rodriguez, 23 yards away. Harlan, he wasn't even touched.
Wasn't even touched. I think they were expecting the handoff to go to Evett in that big situation, and he had a huge hole, and we've already seen it over and over this season. He's got wheels too. He could put it in the end zone, and he showed us that he can do that there. And another reason that I'm in the booth and not on down there coaching, because I advocated for the timeout. Obviously, that wasn't the right thing to do.
Well, and I was maybe pushing for a field goal attempt, and we'll have an extra point attempt this time by number 38, Tanner Rowland. Number 17, the holder, that's Chase Barnett, and I believe the snapper is Goodfellow. Snap, the hold, and the kick is good.
That was close, Jeremy.
It was close, but nonetheless, Wagoner Bulldogs 14, the Oologah Mustangs 14. We got 2 minutes and 5 seconds left in this second quarter. And again, Friday Night Bulldogs second quarter brought to you by Runt's Barbecue and Van Taekwondo right here in great old Wagoner. And be sure to drop by and tell them that you heard about their support of Friday Night Bulldogs. Go in and get you some of those hot links, some of those ribs and things that the Runts have. I believe that's kind of their signature series is their ribs. And so go by and tell them that you heard about it. And even if you have already heard about them before now, we want to know, and they want to know, that the advertising and supporting Friday Night Bulldogs in turn is going to support them.
That's right, man. So make sure you tell them over at Runts, the Friday Night Bulldogs or Thursday Night Bulldogs tonight sent you over there, and then head on over to Van Taekwondo, work those calories off, and learn something about Taekwondo. Learn how to defend yourself maybe in situations, and they do a great job over at Van Taekwondo.
Mr. Van is a Spanish teacher at the high school here in Wagoner, and we appreciate his support in Van Taekwondo of this second quarter of Friday Night Bulldogs. Tanner Rowland on the kick, a little bit of a squib kick, and it's going to be picked up at about the 17-yard line. This is number 8, Keenan Ferry. Ferry is finally tackled at about the 30-yard line, and that's where they'll have it. 1:59 left to go in this second quarter, and Harlan, from what we've seen already, it's plenty enough time for the Mustangs to maybe try to go ahead.
Certainly enough time for the Mustangs to put a drive together, under 2 minutes. And, we saw Wagoner score in, 20 seconds, including the kickoff earlier. So I think the Mustangs have that same ability on their side. There's a big time in the game for the Bulldog defense to make a strong stand as it's 14-14 to try to get maybe their offense back out there before this half's over.
Craig from the shotgun. There's a handoff. No, Craig's going to keep it over the right side. And Craig has shown that he can run the ball too, not only throw it, but he can also run. That time for a short gain to the 34-yard line. We'll give him a gain of 5, 2nd and 5. And right now, Harlan, Oologah is in no hurry to get this next play off.
Yeah, they're not in a hurry. I think what they're doing here is just seeing how it goes. They're going to play the run game. If they can break off maybe a 10, 15-yard run, then they're going to go and hurry up, get the passing game going. If not, they're just going to take it 14-14 to the locker room and live to play another half.
Craig from the shotgun. And here's a read option. This is McKinney trying to make that corner. McKinney does. And he is finally tackled as he crosses the 40 to the 41-yard line. He'll get first down yardage, but it looks as though Mustangs are going to go in maybe somewhat surprised that they're tied up with the number 1 ranked Bulldogs.
Maybe so, Jeremy. Maybe after that first down, though, we might see some of that play action that they've kind of been mixing in there the last couple of times. We'll see what happens, but maybe that wasn't quite enough yardage to try to take that shot, as they're not quite to half filled yet.
Well, McKinney did get out of bounds, so that stops the clock, so that gives them a little bit more time to call this play. Now here's number 21 for the Mustangs. Number 21 finally tackled as he gets to the – they're going to give him forward progress to the 45-yard line. Number 21 is Chance Keem. I believe that's how you pronounce that last name. He'll pick up 4 on the play. 2nd and 6. And, again, we're going to go back to what we were talking about earlier. Mustangs, I believe they're happy. They're going to go in halftime tied up with the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's probably the right call here. Again, not quite to half field. You don't want to throw it up there, get an interception, pick six, or you just want to take care of the ball and get in.
Here's McKinney over the left side. McKinney cuts back to the middle, and he'll get to midfield and close to first down yardage. He'll be about a yard shy as we're 10 seconds left in this second quarter. I tell you what, Harlan, I'm probably calling a timeout here because this is close enough to at least heave one into the end zone. But they're going to let the time out on the clock as this second quarter comes to a close. The Wagoner Bulldogs 14, the Oologah Mustangs 14. That second quarter, again, Harlan, was brought to us by Runt's Barbecue and Van Taekwondo. We appreciate their support of Friday Night Bulldogs, able to bring it to you free, live, and worldwide as we await the marching band. I believe it's only going to be, is that Oologah? I believe that's Wagoner over there. It is. I do not see an Oologah marching band, so it may just be Wagoner marching band just by themselves tonight.
Yeah, I see a couple instruments over on the Oologah side, but definitely not a marching band for sure. And so we'll get the Wagoner marching band halftime show. And Jeremy, the halftime show all season long has been brought to us by Century 21 here in Wagoner, and we appreciate Century 21 very much for their sponsorship of all halftime shows for Friday Night Bulldogs and even the special edition Thursday night of Friday Night Bulldogs, Thursday Night Bulldogs. And it looks like, Jeremy, we may have the cheerleaders and the younger cheerleaders may be doing a halftime show as well for us.
I believe that is the 5th and 6th grade cheerleaders. Maybe even 4th grade cheerleaders. So we've got Central represented here and the 6th graders from the middle school. I believe they've been working in a clinic all week long with the Wagoner High School cheerleaders. And if you've been with us from the start, this is a regular occurrence during halftime as the Wagoner High School cheerleaders have put on a clinic, I believe all the way down to preschoolers. And now we're up to the 6th grade. And so we are going to let you enjoy the sights and sounds of halftime. We're going to make a few adjustments on our mics so that you'll be able to hear all the action out on the field as we take a break here up in the press box as the Wagoner High School Marching Band will be taking the field for expedition.
Ladies and gentlemen, they are 4th graders Whitley Butler, Uriah Lee, Kara Bruce, Josie Rice, and Samantha Wheeler. 5th graders Caitlin Henson, Cammie Chandler, Trinity Kelly, and Ireland Roth. 6th graders Brianna Cole, Jesse Rogers, Emily Morris, Teddy Harmon, Tasia Tadas, Rachel Johnson, Frankie Clark, Haley Dale, Bailey Graham, Chelsea Alsip, Dasani Leidy, Elizabeth Smith, Kiara Swanson, Heather Dotson, and Ivan Bibby. Thanks, ladies. Great job. Don't forget the Powder Puff game Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, just $3. Come and watch the ladies play football. That's got to be worth the price of $3 admission. 6 o'clock right here next Tuesday, Powder Puff football. And now for your listening pleasure, the Wagoner High School Marching Band.
Excuse me. Yeah. Just for a second. Thank you.
the Wagoner High School percussion section. On behalf of Grad 9, the 50-50 winner, if you have ticket number 936488, please pick up your $256 at the press box. Winner number 936488, you are $256 richer. On behalf of Grad 9, 50-50, 2014. And the autographed football has been won by Mr. Dick Shanahan. Congratulations, Dick Shanahan, the winner of the autographed football. And our thanks to the courtesy of Miss Cindy Webb, who noticed the signature in his program. Again, as we are percussed, the Powder Puff football game this Tuesday. Come support Mu Alpha Theta. The game starts at 6 o'clock. $3 at the gate, just before sundown. Powder Puff football this Tuesday. Here's the first half summary. Wagoner took the first play, 12 seconds, one play covering 67 yards. A touchdown pass from Jake Woodson to Lawrence Evans. Wagoner led 7-0. Oologah had the ball for 5 plays covering 27 yards and punted. Wagoner went 3 and out. Then Oologah struck, 10 plays covering 55 yards, a 5-yard touchdown run by number 40, Jimmy McKinney. With the extra point, the score was tied at 7. Oologah went up 14-7 after Wagoner went 3 and out. 5 plays of 40 yards later, a 29-yard pass from quarterback number 7, Peyton Craig, to wide receiver number 5, Grady.
Well, we're back here still during halftime, about 1:45 left to go on the clock, on the halftime clock. And once again, we want to thank Charlotte Swinson over at Century 21 for sponsoring today's halftime show and the special edition of Friday Night Bulldogs, obviously on Thursday night, as we've made sure that you're aware of, and hopefully you've been aware of all day long anyways. Most of us still have to go back to work tomorrow. I know maybe Jeremy doesn't, but I got to get up and go to class anyways, so I'll be doing that. But once again, thank you so much to Charlotte Swinson at Century 21 for bringing this halftime show to us and all of our halftime shows this season for Friday Night Bulldogs. We appreciate her support and her support of the Wagoner community and all of her years of experience helping the Wagoner community.
Yes, we do appreciate Century 21 and the support that Charlotte Swinson has given the band all season long, and including this halftime show. And just got a report that the Wagoner High School band received all superior ratings at the OSSAA marching contest that they just had, I believe, on Tuesday. The band showing why they're the pride of the Wagoner High School, as they received all superior ratings in their OSSAA sanctioned event on Tuesday. So congratulations to the Wagoner High School band. We still have a couple of minutes or so before we get started in this ball game. So get on the horn, text or Facebook or Twitter or tweet something that we are live here at WL Odom Field on this special Thursday night edition of Friday Night Bulldogs. Harlan, from the looks of the crowd, I think there's quite a few that may have forgotten about this early edition of Friday Night Bulldogs, just because fall break. A lot of schools, if not all schools now, have gone to with this fall break, have gone to the Thursday night game to allow families maybe to get out of town and enjoy a short vacation.
Yeah, a little bit different coming on Thursdays. Definitely not the size crowd here at WL Oldham as we are accustomed to. I don't want to say people forgot. I bet that they went out of town, spending some time with family, maybe go and see some friends they haven't seen in a while. But hopefully, Jeremy, they're all back there wherever they are, getting the computer, hooking it up to the big screen TV, and everybody's watching Thursday Night Bulldogs tonight.
Yeah, we know that Regina's there. We know Bambi BC. I believe I saw Heather Tillotson getting some comments in our chat room. We know Cody Allison. There are our regulars in our chat room. We've had to make a couple of adjustments, and I've been talking to my brother that maybe we can get the chat and the game all in the same screen like we used to have it a few years ago. And so I believe he's going to work on that for us with John Aldridge, our technology director here at Wagoner High School, and hopefully that will happen. Getting a lot of comments about, seems like they were able to hear the band nice and loud. The drum section, the drum corps, putting on a little bit of a display of their skills, as the Oologah band did not have a halftime show, so it gave a little bit of extra time for the Wagoner High School drum corps.
Yeah, I got to showcase their talents there, and they did a great job. Certainly the crowd was into that, and we always enjoy seeing the band as a whole, but if we don't often get to see pieces of the band to hear what they have to offer, and so that was a nice little treat during halftime. And once again, Jeremy, I know we've already talked about it, but that's possible because of our sponsor for halftime all season long, Century 21 and Miss Charlotte Swinson.
And got a couple of other announcements that we're going to make about activities and things that are going on at Wagoner High School, Wagoner Middle School. Looks like the Powder Puff game is going to be this Tuesday starting at 6 o'clock. So if you want to come out and see what the high school girls can do with the football, with the pigskin on the field, come out and support. I believe this is for Mu Alpha Theta, which is the Math Honor Society club that the high school has, that is headed up by John French, a math teacher at Wagoner High School. They're going to have a Powder Puff game. I believe this is about the third or fourth annual Powder Puff game that they have. So come out and support those girls and Mu Alpha Theta. I believe a faculty team is going to get involved too. So it should be a lot of fun this Tuesday night starting at 6. I have a feeling that would probably be a live broadcast of that too. Not sure, but have a feeling that probably is going to happen also.
Anytime Jeremy, faculty get involved, the students are going to want to come watch that.
Yeah. And one more shout out to the Wagoner Middle School cross country team as they placed second in conference today. So congratulations to them. The high school also competed in conference. I did not get the results of them, but I believe they had a great showing as well. As we are on to the second half, here's number 5. This is Despain. Despain looked like he had a little bit of room to run down that sidelines, but he's ridden out of bounds by one of the Bulldog defense as Despain gets to the 35-yard line. I believe the ball will be spotted at the 37, 1st and 10 for the Mustangs.
It's going to be a challenge for the Bulldog defense to keep Despain off the field, get him on the sidelines or something. Don't let the ball get in his hands because he's really been one of the keys. It's really been Despain, the quarterback for the Mustangs, which is Craig, and then also Jeremy, number 40, the running back. We called his name quite a bit, Mr. McKinney. There it is for him up the middle. Gain of about a yard on the play at that time. And Jeremy, I hope that no one went anywhere during halftime because let me remind everybody, it's 14-14 here as Oologah is coming out with the first possession of the second half. But we got a game here. And for Bulldogs fans out there listening, again, not really used to being in that situation.
Not at all, as we have 2nd and 9. I see Alice Dorr Schneider coming in our chat room. She's a Wagoner grad from back. I won't give you up there, Alice, but appreciate you logging on. As here is Craig trying to get to the outside, and he's going to get minimal yardage as the corners come up to make the stop.
And, Jeremy, just while we have a moment here, we're sort of in the light of giving shout-outs, want to make sure I throw a shout-out out to my father-in-law, Kevin Orange. Not sure if he's at home listening tonight. It is his birthday, and I won't say how old either. Don't want to put him out there. I don't want to get in trouble is basically what I'm saying. But shout-out to my father-in-law, Kevin Orange. Happy birthday. Appreciate you very much. And we all love you as the Mustangs come back to the line of scrimmage here in the shotgun formation.
Happy birthday, Kevin, on this 3rd and 7. Hopefully it's a happy birthday for the Bulldogs as the quarterback. And that's a live ball, and fortunately for the Mustangs, that goes out of bounds. I believe that was I don't know if that was Craig throwing that ball or not.
I think you're right there, Jeremy. I don't believe that was Craig who actually made the pass, and it definitely didn't look like a Craig thrown pass. Maybe number 6, Nick Johns, the senior there, making that pass. It was a live ball, but skips out of bounds. But the big thing is it's 4th down and 12. The Mustangs are going to punt here as the Bulldog defense comes up with a huge stop on the first possession of the second half.
Not end over end punt, and Ford will have a chance to return. He keeps it down the sideline to make a couple of moves. Ford puts the shoulder down and across the 40 to the 38-yard line. Harlan would like to see number 2, Hayden Ford, get more involved as the weeks roll on. He's had a shoulder injury that's kept him sidelined for much of the early season. We called his name several times last week, made some great plays. He's making some great plays now, getting back into game shape as he was last year.
That's right. Made some good plays last week, and tonight, really in the special teams game, he's made a name for himself here on these punt returns with some big ones, and he's doing a great job. Puts the Bulldogs on 38-yard line in Oologah territory for their first possession of the second half.
Woodson up under center. Here's Evett. Evett trying to squirt through the middle, and he's going to get about a 2-yard gain, and that's it, as the Bulldogs will be at the just outside the Mustang 36-yard line. They're only going to give Evett 1 on that play, 2nd and 9. And hopefully everything is working well for you at home. The sights and sound of Friday Night Bulldogs. Let us know if we can do something to make it better for you at home. We appreciate everyone that's logged on tonight. On this 2nd and 9 play from the Oologah 37, this is Rodriguez from the Wildcat. Rodriguez puts his shoulder down across the 35 to about the 33-yard line as Rodriguez gets about 4 on that play. And it'll bring up a 3rd and 5. Be a very interesting play call here, Harlan, as the Bulldogs are getting deep into Mustang territory.
Yeah, as an offensive coordinator here, Jeremy, you're sort of in between. Do we pass, do we run here? And a lot of times for many teams is where you see the play action come from. We haven't seen that a lot from the Bulldogs as they seem to rely heavily on that run game. We'll see what they call here in I formation.
Woodson up under center on a 3rd and 5 play. Here's a pitch out to Evan. Makes one tackle and miss, and he is dragged down from behind at about the 29-yard line. Number 57 for Oologah, making a shoestring tackle, Thomas Helvik.
Big-time tackle that time by the Mustangs because we're accustomed to seeing Evett pull that exact same move and then taking it to the house. And it looked like he was about to put it into that next gear, and he wasn't able to as they were able to catch his shoestring. Jeremy, a long 1 yard to go on 4th down. Bulldogs going to go for it.
This is going to be a very important play right now as Rodriguez is from the Wildcat. Rodriguez is going to take it himself straight up the middle. He's going to have more than enough for the 1st down. And, well, I take that back.
Close, Jeremy.
He didn't get a very good spot. Well, there's the 1st down signal. Harlan, he didn't really get a very good spot as it looked as though he was at least to the 31-yard line, and they just spotted it shy of the 32.
Yeah, maybe not a very good spot there, but it looked like there may have been, I don't know, some confusion there as he got the snap, or maybe he may have kind of fumbled it in his hands a little bit as he sort of looked like he hesitated there, but able to push it up to get the first down. 1st and 10, Bulldogs continue their possession.
Ball is at the 27-yard line of the Mustangs. Here is number 5, Jake Woodson from the shotgun. Evett is the deep tailback. He's got Lee and Hawkins, and this is Woodson on the rollout. Got Lee out in the flat. Lee with the full head of steam, and McKinney is able to tackle him right at the sticks. A nice play call, nice fake to Evett. Woodson had a choice either to pass or run on that.
Yeah, Woodson did a great job that time. Really a double fake there, and really threw off the Mustang defense, and he's able to get it out in the flat to KJ Lee. Almost gets the first down. 2nd and maybe half a yard to go for the Bulldogs now, but I think the story on that play was Woodson and his ability to sell the fake not once but twice and then get it out in the flat.
2nd and short for the Bulldogs as Woodson gets up under center, I formation. I believe that's Hawkins and Evett. Here's a pitch out to Freeth as he's coming around the corner. Number 3, A.J. Freeth, is upended by his number's sake. That's number 3. Logan Armstrong with the tackle, and they're going to give him the first down yardage.
I think every time I'm just going to say he's going to be close, and they'll get it because that's been the case so far. But Freeth doing a good job of, there wasn't a whole lot of room after he got it off the end around, but kind of had a nose for where the football needed to be. He's able to get enough yardage.
We're just under 8 minutes in this third quarter. This is the first drive of the first drive for the Bulldogs for the second half. We've had one drive from Oologah that as Evett takes it up the middle for no gain. There was one drive from Oologah that turned into nothing, and now the Bulldogs on their first possession of the second half have at least got inside the 20-yard line, and looks like it's going to be about a 2nd and 10 from the 17-yard line.
2nd and 10, and Jeremy, where they're huddling up, we got a couple of sponsors for this third quarter, but let me tell you about one of my very good friends, LJ Kangas, over at Kangas Productions. Does a great job converting your 8mm over to video or anything that you need.
Here's Evett, tried to bounce it to the outside, just lost his footing as McKinney was there to make him stay, and that's going to be a loss back to about the 23-yard line. We're going to call it a loss of 6. 3rd and 16 now. And if you do have those 8mm or those WHS videotapes, whatever you need, if you're videotaping this, we're not sure. But LJ able to convert all of those to DVDs, whatever you want, any kind of digital format. LJ Kangas able to do that in Kangas Productions.
That's for sure. He'll also create tribute films for you if you'd like him to do that. Put pictures on DVD for you. He can do all that stuff for you.
Here's Evett from the Wildcat. Evett over the left side. He bounces, and he's down the sidelines, and he is
out at the 1.
Oh,
Jeremy.
my goodness.
Looks like they're going to call him out at the 1, but that was close. Where's the instant replay this week? I don't think we have access to it, but it's going to be 1st and 10 at literally maybe the 1-inch line there.
I tell you, I don't know if Evett thought that guy was going to be able to shove him that hard, because really all he had to do was to hold that ball out, and it would have crossed the plane of the goal line for the touchdown. But nevertheless, that ball is at the 1-yard line as the pylon. He actually kicked the pylon down, but the refs didn't see it that way. So nevertheless, it's a 1st and goal for the Bulldogs. Ball at the 1-yard line. Woodson up under center, I formation. This is Rodriguez, and here's Evett. Evett bounces to the outside a couple of times, and they're just not going to let him get that corner, at least on the far side.
Yeah, they definitely didn't let him get open over there. He's brought down. It's going to bring up 2nd down, loss of a couple that time, and go back to the drawing board for the Bulldog offense. And Jeremy, we talked about LJ Kangas. Our second sponsor for the third quarter is Two-Way Sales and Service. And so we want to recognize the Wrights over at Wrights Mill and Feed, established in 1943, and we appreciate them so much for their sponsorship of this third quarter.
That's Spuddy and Ginger Wright. We do appreciate their sponsorship of Friday Night Bulldogs. As here is Rodriguez from the Wildcat, puts his head down.
It's going to be close again. Looks like a push both ways, waiting for the call, Jeremy. Looks like they're going to call him down short again.
Yeah, the linesmen come in. When they had that hand up, that means it's the next down, as we are at 3rd down now. Looks like the ball is inside the 1 yard line, just resting outside of the goal line. Again, our sponsors of the hopefully a Bulldog score right now in the third quarter. LJ Kangas of Kangas Productions and Wright's Two-Way Sales and Service, Spuddy and Ginger Wright. We appreciate their support of Friday Night Bulldogs on a 3rd and goal from inside the 1. Woodson from the shotgun, all kinds of shifting
the
around.
Formation here, Jeremy. Looks like it's going to be a quarterback sneak.
Here's a pitch out to Evitt. Evitt will waltz in for the score. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Harlan, that's the first time we've seen that formation.
We haven't seen that. A little bit, maybe sort of some trickeration there, getting them to the line, letting the defense see the diamond formation. Then all of a sudden, it's single back. Evitt gets the pitch and runs it into the side. And the biggest thing is, it's 6 points on the board, no flags on the play.
No flags on the play, and ran a lot of time off the clock. 4 minutes, 45 seconds left in this third quarter as the Bulldogs line up for the extra point attempt. It'll be number 38, Tanner Rowland. Number 17 will be the holder, Chase Barnett. And the snapper, I believe, is Mr. Goodfellow for the Bulldogs. Snap, hold, the kick is up, and Tanner Rowland remains perfect for the season on his extra points, and he's had a lot of them this year.
Had a lot of them, and Bulldog fans, 21-14, 4:45 left to go in the third quarter. And Jeremy, I'm just looking at my clock. It's not even 9 o'clock yet, and we're almost done with the third quarter here. That's kind of it's kind of nice this week.
If you were with us last week, I believe it was about this time that we were still in the second quarter.
We weren't even at halftime yet. I think it was 9:15 before we went to halftime last week. So nice to see. Maybe they had a conversation about that in practice a few times, I would think, from the coaching staff for the Bulldogs, and haven't seen near as many flags for sure. Well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to throw the broadcasting curse out there, so I'm going to keep that to myself. But Bulldogs, 21-14 up in this one, 4:45 to go. And it's going to be a big time for the defense now for the Bulldogs as they have taken momentum in the second half. Can they hold off the Mustangs on this ensuing drive?
And Heather Tillotson commented in our chat room talking about the football team during school, talking about how tough this game was going to be. And obviously they were prepared for a dogfight tonight as the Bulldogs go up. This is the first time since the first play of the first quarter.
Yeah, that's right. Ever since the Evitt touchdown in the very beginning, 20 seconds, the Bulldogs haven't had the lead till now. Short squib kick that time, fielded by the Mustangs. He's still running, still on his feet, breaking some tackles, breaks it out to the left. He's at the 50, the 45, 40, still running. Looks like he's going to stay in. He's got a Bulldog on him, and he takes it all the way in for the score. The Mustangs push it in.
That is a 200-pound senior, number 21, Chance Keem. I believe we're saying that right. Looked like he was stuffed at about the 35-yard line. But Harlan, once he was able to get away from those tacklers, he had a wall, and he pretty much just cruised on in for the score.
That's right. You know, you talked about him being stuffed back here deep and really on the Mustang side, you know, in Mustang territory. And all of a sudden he keeps on running and gets out wide, and he just, I should have said rumbling, bumbling, tumbling. He doesn't look like that, like he's that big from up here. So he carries it really well, and he's got some speed for a big man.
The extra point attempt is up and good. Mark Franklin, we just mentioned the word dogfight, and we're in a dogfight right now as the Oologah Mustang answer quickly to the Rodriguez or to the Evitt touchdown from 1 yard out. Answer very quickly, and the score is all knotted up at 21. I believe that was number 21 that made the score.
And Jeremy, almost 21 seconds, only 20 seconds. So to answer, you know, we talked about Evitt scoring that first touchdown in 20 seconds. Now there you go. Oologah Mustangs have their own version of the 20-second score.
Alice Ann in our chat room talking about she loved to hear that fight song, that Wagoner Bulldog fight song. Well, unfortunately, we just heard the Oologah Mustang fight song as number 21. Looked like they were trying to keep it away from Despain because Despain has had a couple of good returns. And, boy, Keem made them pay dearly.
Made them pay big time. It'll be interesting to see next time how they handle that. particular situation. Talked about it being a big series for the defense. Defense didn't even get out on the field as the special teams gives up the touchdown that time. And now for the Bulldogs offense, it becomes even more important to stay in rhythm, keep it established, get that momentum back. It's still 21-21, 4:25 to go in the third quarter. Certainly not panic time. There's tons of time to go. Methodically drive just like we saw last time.
That's Franklin on the kick, and it is going to skip across. Now it's picked up at about the 7-yard line. Here's Deshaun Clark. Clark looked like he had a pretty good hole to start out with, but it closed quickly, and he is tackled at the 25-yard line. I'll tell you what, right now, this is the most exciting third quarter that we've seen in this whole season, as we're knotted up at 21, and our good friends at Two-Way Service and Sales, and also Kangas Productions, able to bring us this exciting third quarter for the Friday Night Bulldogs. That's LJ Kangas with Kangas Productions. Anything digital you need, LJ is your man. And not to mention Spuddy and Ginger Wright with Two-Way Service and Sales. They're also into the digital world, but mainly with your TVs and DVRs and things of that nature. We appreciate their support. Here's Evatt over the right side, and he is stuffed at the line of scrimmage, and a flag comes in, Harlan, and that's the first one we've seen, at least in the second half, and we haven't seen very many all game.
Yeah, definitely not many flags that time. It comes in from the backfield, from the head referee. He's going to conference with his other referees before he makes the call here. And it's going to be, it looks like a chop block against the Wagoner Bulldogs, and they're going to move back here. And so the chop block, Jeremy, is, if somebody's engaged and another person comes in at him at their legs or something like that, that's where that flag comes out, moves the Bulldogs back, and that's not a good time to have that penalty called when you need to get the momentum back and flip it back and get into rhythm on the offensive side.
That's going to be a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. So now all of a sudden the Bulldogs are in a 1st and 23 position, the ball at their own 12-yard line. Right now they've got to be real careful, Harlan, as they're backed up against their end zone. A lot of times you want to get a chunk of this yardage in one play. You're going to have to be careful here. Here's Woodson. No, this is Charbonneau rolling to his left and looking for, I believe that was Freeth. And that's number 2, Hayden Ford. And that was number 5, Woodson.
I was going to say, you said I was taking your word for Charbonneau being out there, but then he threw with his right hand. And so I was going, okay, that's not Charbonneau. But I couldn't tell what number it was. And so anyways, it's an incomplete pass, second and very, very long, 2nd and 22. Jeremy, right here, 2nd and 22, do you just put it in the hands of Evatt even though it's long and just see what happens?
I think on this play you do. Maybe we can pick up a good chunk of that yardage. I don't know if you go to the air this play. We'll see. As Woodson from the shotgun, little trouble with the snap, but he hands off to Evatt. Evatt cuts it back to the middle, and Evatt is at the 25. Now he's at the 30, and he is still on his feet. Finally, he is dragged down, and that's number 5, Despain, showing his skills on the offensive side of the play. And now we see him making a touchdown-saving tackle of Evatt.
Definitely a touchdown-saving tackle. Jeremy almost was about to say he's gone right there because it was close. But Oologah actually did a good job. I mean, they gave up the huge play. Wagoner gets the first down. But Oologah does a good job of at least keeping track of Evatt once he got into the secondary, able to bring him down. But Bulldogs fans, 1st and 10 on the 44-yard line in Mustang territory.
That's about a 43-yard gain on a 2nd and 23. Now here's Rodriguez, and he is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. And at least on the inside of things, the Oologah Mustang defense have stiffened.
Absolutely. There was no room whatsoever that time for Rodriguez. Normally he can push forward just on his own for 1 or 2 extra, and it just wasn't happening on that play. Going to bring up 2nd down and really 9.5 after that stop by the Mustang defense. But big-time play going back to the last one by Evatt to grab the momentum and swing it in Wagner's favor. And we'll see if the offense can sustain that moving forward as Woodson has him out in the diamond set formation under center.
Woodson up under center. Here's a pitch out to, this is KJ Lee. Lee puts his head down, and he's not going to get a whole lot of yardage, maybe a gain of 2 to the 40, about the 42, his number's sake, of the Oologah Mustangs. Harlan, I do want to mention that when we were talking about that 2nd and 23 play, I believe I said that maybe we hand off to Everett. Maybe he gets a good chunk of that yardage back. I tell you what, put a headset on me and put me down on the sidelines.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe both of us should go down there because, we were sort of asking, do we pass, do we run? Go with the run. But normally we're not right, so.
That's true. Here's Woodson looking downfield, and a great catch.
Big-time catch, Jeremy.
Wow, I believe that's number 1. Yes, it is, Lawrence Evett. It's thrown a little strong, but he was able to at least get a hand on it, pop it up in the air, all along a Mustang on his back.
That's right. Evett playing the tip drill with his, on his own there, able to tip it up to himself. As Jeremy said, with the defender basically just hanging off of him, able to bring it in. 1st down and 10, Wagoner. Another big-time play by Evett as he's stepping up here as well he should. He's showing the leadership for the Bulldog offense and really driving them down the field.
A 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. The Mustang 26-yard line. Woodson from the shotgun. No, this is Rodriguez from the Wildcat. Rodriguez carrying a couple of Mustangs with him as he gets to about the 21-yard line. The ball came out, but it was well after the play had been blown dead.
Yeah, he was definitely down there and looked like the Mustangs just making sure. Didn't hear a whistle blow. Always want to play until the end of the whistle there. But Rodriguez down, going to bring up 2nd down, and looks like about 6 to go, short 6, long 5 to go on this one, Jeremy. And the good news is it's not 2nd down and 8, it's 2nd down and 5. That's more on schedule. That's where you want to be.
Here's Evett from the Wildcat, fakes to the right, now goes to the left, got a couple blockers in front, and he steps out of bounds at about the 12-yard line as we are under a minute to play in this 3rd quarter. We appreciate the support of Two-Way Sales and Service, Ginger and Spuddy Wright, and also LJ Kangas of Kangas Productions.
Give me a timeout taken on the field by Oologah Mustangs. So, as Jeremy was saying, we do appreciate our sponsors over there at Two-Way Sales and Service. Go by and see them. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and also Saturday from 8 a.m. to noon. So make sure and go see them and see what they can do for you and your electronic needs there in the digital age here. And also our good friend, once again, LJ Kangas at Kangas Productions. Anything you need via transporting, if you will, pictures from one type of media, and we'll just say older type of media. We'll be nice about it, right? To the newer, more technologically savvy type of media. LJ Kangas can do that for you. A lot of times that work can be tedious, but LJ does a great job at getting it all done for you.
I believe LJ is an 09 grad, maybe a 2000. No, I think it's 09 grad of Wagoner High School. We appreciate his support of Friday Night Bulldogs along with Spuddy and Ginger Wright. I know that all 4 of their girls are graduates from Wagoner High School. Not sure if Spuddy and Ginger were, but we appreciate their support. And we're back to the action of 1st and 10 play. Ball at the 11-yard line. 56 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. That diamond formation that we talked about. Here's the inside handoff to Rodriguez. Pulls a couple of tacklers with him, and he'll score. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Rodriguez, he was hit at about the 5, Harlan, but he just kept chugging.
Hey, there was no denying Rodriguez that time. It didn't matter who was in front of him. He was keeping those legs moving and pushing, and he forced his way into the end zone that time to put the Bulldogs up by another score.
That just took less than 2 seconds off the clock as we're still in this 3rd quarter. But the swinging gate formation and now lining up for the extra point attempt. Again, the special teams on the extra point led by number 76. That's Taylor Gibson. I've been giving credit to Goodfellow. Actually, I think Gibson and Goodfellow are cousins, so we're not too far away. I don't think you'll get too upset about that.
Jeremy, I think it was good, but it was almost blocked that time by the Oologah Mustangs. Rolling almost, losing that perfect streak there, but he didn't. 28-21, Bulldogs on top in this one.
That was Gibson, Barnett, and then Rowland putting it through. Wagoner Bulldogs 28, the Oologah Mustangs 21, but it was just seemed about 2 minutes ago that we had this same point differential, and then Keem for the Mustangs returns the ensuing kickoff to tie it back up.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how the Bulldogs special teams go about this one. They've done that squib kick a couple of times. Last time didn't work. The question is, do you want to kick it back there to number 5 to Spain? I mean, you want to keep it out of his hands? What do you do differently here? So it'll be very interesting for the strategy coming from the special teams of the Bulldogs this time. And there's been games this season where the special teams has struggled a little bit. So we see that touchdown they gave up here, but you'll look for it to be a little stronger this time around.
Yeah, if you remember the kick that we were talking about was a squib kick, and the up man, Keem, grabs it, and they're trying to keep it away from Despain. And like you said, Harlan, it's going to be very interesting to see the choice of what Roland is instructed to do here as the Bulldogs are very cautiously protecting a 7-point lead.
Maybe even just kick it out of bounds. We'll see what happens.
Here's Roland on the kick, and it's a line drive kick, and it will roll into the end zone. And maybe
it's kind of the best of both worlds that
it
time,
was.
Jeremy. It's a long kick, but it was a long squib kick. And so basically Roland kicks it so hard, line drive fashion, it goes past big number 21 who got the score last time, and then bounces into the end zone for a touchback.
49 seconds still left in the third quarter as there was no time from the clock due to that touchback. And so the Oologah Mustangs offense, which we haven't said much about this whole third quarter because of the 2 scores from Wagoner and the kickoff return. So we've got the quarterback in the backfield. Now he's going to keep it himself. He goes over the left side, tries to make that corner. Nice pursuit by, I believe that was number 52, Devin Cantrell.
And big-time series really on both sides of the ball this time. Oologah looking to get those points back as they're down by 7 with the third quarter. We're under 30 seconds to go in the third quarter now. And big-time plays for the defense here as the Bulldogs looking to push Oologah back, kind of flip the field here, and then start running that clock down.
I'll tell you what, Harlan, we talked about, haven't said much about the Oologah Mustang offense this third quarter. The quarterback's name had escaped me, haven't called it so long, but it's Craig. Craig this time rolls to his left, looks downfield, and it's batted up in the air. I believe that's number 52, Devin Cantrell, who makes another big defensive play for the Bulldogs.
Big time play by Cantrell right there, getting his hands on the ball and knocking that down. And the third quarter is going to come to an end, and the Bulldogs throwing up the 4s, but more so than that, that knockdown pass gives them huge momentum going into the fourth, and it's going to be a big 3rd down and 9 when we get back to play.
It will be the beginning of the fourth quarter. As you see on your screen at home, a great shot of the Bulldogs as they have begun or have continued a tradition of in the fourth quarter, all huddling up there and claiming this fourth quarter to be theirs. And we appreciate the Wagoner High School Mass Communications class giving you a great shot of that as we go into the fourth quarter. And Harlan, there in the chat room, they're talking about the Wagoner Bulldog fight song. And Alice Ann, I think you just ought to sing it for us at home and type it out there. I know the words. And matter of fact, Alice, I believe we have a classmate of yours next door, Kyle Ford, showing up as our guest clock manager tonight. As the normal guy is out of town, I think Kyle Ford showed up, and I believe you guys graduated together at least within 1 or 2 years of each other. Again, I'm not going to give you up. If you want to know, you might ask her in the chat room, but Alice Ann, a Wagoner Bulldog alum. And here's a quarterback sack by number 44, Roman Rodriguez. Craig was looking to pass, and Rodriguez makes a big defensive play.
Big-time defensive play, Jeremy. For those of you guys listening at home, if you remember, that was 3rd and 9 that time. Huge sack for the Wagoner Bulldogs to hold the Oologah Mustangs back. You're going to expect the punt as they're deep in their own territory. 4th down here and a long ways. 4th and 18 it looks like. And Mustangs going to be punting from their own end zone. He has the ball. The kick is up. Solid spiral kick towards the Wagoner Bulldogs sideline. Goes out of bounds. Going to be spotted, looks like, at about the 38, 39-yard line. in Mustang territory, and that's where the Bulldogs are going to take over for the first time in the fourth quarter. Bulldogs up 28-21 in this one, and going to look to score again, but also to take that time off the clock as much as they can.
That was, if you're a Bulldog fan, that was a great kick for us as the ball it hung in the air quite a bit, but it did not go as far as the Mustangs would have liked for it, because the Bulldogs will have the ball 1st and 10 on the Mustang 39-yard line. Great defensive stand by the Bulldogs, a 3-and-out, I believe, as Rodriguez now in the Wildcat formation. That's Lee in motion to the left. Rodriguez is going to run to the left. Rodriguez with a full head of steam, still on his feet. He twists around. Now the ball came out. Oh, no, the ball came loose as Rodriguez was twisting and looking for additional yardage, but the Bulldogs able to recover. I'm not sure who jumped on that. I think that it might have been, he's coming out off the sideline right now. I believe that's number 33, Fisher Medlin. 33, I'm sorry, on the roster is Brandon Goodfellow. I believe that he was the one that came up with that loose ball, and Wagoner maintains possession.
Big time play by him. Heads up play as Bulldogs have it back at the line of scrimmage. There's a backwards pass, this time to Evitt. Evitt looks to throw down to the end zone. It's not a great throw. Throws it up. Flag on the play. Going to be pass interference, Jeremy, on the defense.
Wow. That had disaster written all over it, as a little razzle-dazzle there from the Bulldogs. And it was a backwards pass to Evitt, and then Evitt probably put a little too much air up under that. It was number 2, Hayden Ford, the intended receiver, but we've got a defensive pass interference.
Definitely pass interference as Ford going up to catch the ball and just gets pulled down, basically. But, Jeremy, I don't know what you saw, but Evitt looked like he just flicked the wrist there. It didn't even look like he put a whole lot behind that throw, and it went up in the air, and I'm thinking, that's not good. It's just kind of a dead bird flying there.
It was up in the air for a long time. Nice tight spiral, really, but it just kept hanging and hanging up there. And Ford almost made a play on it, and maybe that's why the defensive pass interference came, because Ford might have come down with that. Here's Woodson now. There's a handoff to number 17. That's Chase Barnett.
Touchdown Bulldogs once again.
Chase the Kid Barnett on an end around. 14 yards away for the score.
Flag on the play,
and
Jeremy. Let's hold on. I'm not sure where the flag came from. I don't know if it came from the backfield, but maybe a holding call coming here.
I think I saw the initial signal was a holding call, and I know if you're Barnett, he's not going to get a whole lot of touches offensively, and that one right there, that one's going to loom in the back of his mind.
That one's going to sting a little bit for a long time. And the Bulldogs are getting backed up here, as I'm not sure we got the official call just yet. Maybe we did and we missed it while we were talking. But the Bulldogs are getting backed up. Going to bring the offense back on the field. Takes away that touchdown, still 28-21.
Woodson from the shotgun. Evitt, the deep tailback, he'll get the call over the right side. Shakes one tackler and not able to shake the second. Great pursuit by the Mustang defense.
Good job by the Mustang defense, and really Evitt did as much as he could with that one to turn nothing into a little less of nothing, I guess is what we'll call it, because he was stopped way back in the backfield, then able to push forward for a little bit, almost gets back to the original line of scrimmage there for that down. And Jeremy, fourth quarter, we talked about taking it to the bank last week. Usually, if you give it to Evitt, you can take it to the bank. Armstrong Bank is our fourth quarter sponsor. We appreciate them very much.
We do, and the Bulldogs are looking to cash in on this drive. Thanks, Armstrong Bank, for their support of Friday Night Bulldogs. As a man in motion, here's that is Hawkins on the handoff, and he is tripped up as he gets to about the 21-yard line. A little bit of an odd play there, as there was a big hole, and unfortunately just couldn't get it going.
Yeah, a big hole right there, and I thought the Bulldogs did a good job of, showing some motion and moving around there, because I had no idea who had the ball until Jeremy made the call on that one. But Hawkins not able to find much room up the middle. It's going to bring up a big third down and 16. 3rd and 16 as Woodson gets up under center at the 22-yard line.
Here's Woodson. Now it's an end around. End
He's got all
around to
kinds of
number
room,
3.
Jeremy.
That's A.J. Freeth, and he will score. Touchdown, Bulldogs. How in the world are you able to run that play twice and still score?
I don't know how you can do that, Jeremy. Really, the first time they did the end around with, I want to say it was 4 coming on the end around, maybe Freeth that time too. They didn't get real far, picked up a first down, but this time there was all kinds of room over on this near side of the field. And at the beginning of that play, if you're a Mustang defender, they thought they had it. They thought they had it sniffed out. It's going to be a sack in the backfield. All of a sudden, he hands it off. It's off to the races. Touchdown.
That was Freeth on it with some blazing speed. I believe that was Probst downfield just for a little bit of extra security, but he really went in untouched as Tanner Rowland is with the extra point. The extra point is up and good. And the Wagoner Bulldogs now all of a sudden have jumped out to a 14-point lead.
Jeremy, that's a big-time play by the Bulldog offense, and really a big-time drive. Barnett pushes it in for a touchdown. Everybody's celebrating, and all of a sudden, oh, wait a minute, there's a flag. We're going to pull it back. Now it's first down and long, second down and long, third down and 16. Doesn't matter for the Bulldogs. They're going to push it in for the score anyways, and that's good to see that they're able to overcome that. That's sort of something they put on themselves, their own mistake, able to overcome that, put it in, get a little bit of a cushion. Another big series for the defense coming up here, or depending on your perspective, the Oologah offense, to see what can happen. 8:48 left to go in the game. Oologah can score pretty quickly, but time is looming now.
Well, we talked about the Bulldogs cashing in, and they did just that. Didn't go to the well too many times, as obviously the second, almost a back-to-back play, maybe 2 or 3 plays in between. First, that was Barnett, like you said, for a touchdown, called back on a penalty. This time, Freeth and company make it count as the Bulldogs are 35, the Oologah Mustangs 21, 8:48 left in this ball game, and here's Tanner Rowland with the kick. A high kick, deep kick, going to be fielded by Despain at about the 5-yard line. Here's Despain at the 20, and Despain still on his feet. He was hit at about the 20-yard line, and he gets finally dragged down at the 27.
Flag on the play there, Jeremy, as well. Maybe an unsportsmanlike conduct, pushing it down after the play. Not sure if that's what it is, but that's really all that I saw there, but we'll wait on the call. Interesting that they kicked it long that time as opposed to trying to go with maybe that squib kick again.
Yes, this will be an interesting call. I think I saw what you're talking about, Harlan, and it looks like I believe that was a holding call, and it's a little high on the on the holding signal, but I think that's what it was. So.
And that was interesting there because the holding call, the flag came in relatively late for that. That's why I was thinking maybe it was the late hit. But I honestly, on the hit, I was like, the whistle hadn't blown yet. So we've seen weirder things happen. We're a week removed from the weirdest thing we've ever seen probably with referees. But Oologah's going to take over here. Ball's on their own 16-yard line.
Deep into their own territory, and they need a couple of quick scores. Here's McKinney, I believe. McKinney runs full steam ahead.
He's right at the sticks there, Jeremy. I don't know what they're going to give to him. Maybe they come out and measure this one. Nope, referee says first down, move forward for the Mustangs.
That was McKinney on the play. He's going to pick up we're going to give him 11 on the play. First and 10 now for Craig and the Mustangs. Craig from the shotgun. Craig with a handoff to McKinney. He sidesteps the would-be tackler, gets across the 30 to the 33-yard line. It's pretty nifty running by a big running back.
Nifty running, getting some yards here, but I'm kind of shaking my head a little bit. Again, they have a quarterback that can pass. Down by 14, just a little over 8 minutes to go in the game. Do you start going to the pass game now? What do you do here?
Well, they've been effective in the pass game, and you got to think that with just under 8 minutes to go, you don't want to get too over-anxious. But here's Craig on a rollout. He's got a man. That's Despain, and we just talked about the passing game. You see right there, they're plenty successful with it.
For sure, Despain, and we talked about the quarterback's name escaping you. I can't think of it now. Craig, thank you. They've got some good rapport between one another. They definitely have the chemistry as Craig, the junior quarterback, hitting Despain, the sophomore, for the first and 10. He's got it now. He hands it off and to McKinney. McKinney takes it to the left, finds a little bit of room, but not much there as he gains about 4, brought down by the Bulldogs, bring up 2nd down, and the clock just keeps on ticking.
Keeps on ticking as McKinney gets about 5 yards. Well, we'll give him 4. 2nd and 6. They're into Bulldog territory as the ball rests at the Bulldog 49-yard line. But Harlan, they're not going to be able to huddle up that much going in deep into the 4th quarter if they expect to tie this ball game up. This is Craig on the rollout over the right side. Craig going to keep it himself. He got a little bit of room, and he is able to get out of bounds. Not only get out of bounds, but he picks up another 1st down.
Picks up the 1st down, gets out of bounds, and doesn't take the hit. I was sort of thinking you need to slide because it looked like he was about to take a big hit right there, but at the same time, you got to get out of bounds and stop that clock if you're the Mustangs. And so he does a great job, does Craig, that time to find some space. Didn't see anything downfield. Made something happen on his own. 7:01 left to go in the 4th quarter now, and Craig has him back to the line in shotgun formation.
It's at the Bulldog 42. Here's McKinney over the left side. McKinney.
Big-time move by McKinney. There's a flag, Jeremy.
McKinney with a big-time move and then breaks a couple tackles as he gets across the 35, but I think this one's probably going to be coming back for the holding call.
Yeah, it looks like the line judge is pointing back towards the Mustang sideline. I'm going to think it's probably going to be 10 yards from the spot of the foul and a holding call.
It is holding against the Mustangs. A very costly penalty right now as the Mustangs were on the move and now have a 10-yard setback.
Definitely. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back for the Mustangs here on this very, very important. Maybe, if they don't get anything on this drive, Jeremy, you might want to take this one to the bank for the Bulldogs as we want to throw a shout-out to our 4th quarter sponsor, Armstrong Bank. Appreciate very much their support of Wagoner Bulldogs football and Friday night Bulldogs and just the community support. And the Mustangs have it back to the line of scrimmage.
Trips to the right as Craig from the shotgun. There's a handoff to McKinney. McKinney, no, that's number 21. That's Keem, who took a kickoff return, about 65 yards for a score. And he'll get back over into Bulldog territory at about the 48-yard line. But now we're going to have a 2nd and 17, I believe.
And Jeremy, again, there just seems like there's no rush here. Under 7 minutes, really almost right at 6 minutes to go in this half. And, in the game. Only 2 timeouts for the Mustangs. Got to see some movement here.
Craig from the shotgun. He's going to throw it this time. Pressure put on by Cantrell, and Cantrell gets him. Number 52, Devin Cantrell from the opposite defensive end ran him down.
Jeremy, he had no idea that he was coming after him. And I don't know if his teammates were yelling at him or not about that one, but Cantrell makes a huge play for the Bulldogs and brings up 3rd and maybe from Oologah for him this time. 3rd and officially probably, 20?
Yeah, right at 20. As there's a big-time loss on that play back to the 44-yard line of the Mustangs. Craig looking downfield for Despain and makes the grab. A nice grab by I believe that's number 8. I'm sorry. I don't think that's Despain. Number 8, I'm not sure if we've called his name or not. Number 8 we have a couple of times. Keenan Ferry with a nice grab. And now all of a sudden they went from 2nd in a country mile to 1st and 10 from the Bulldog 23-yard line.
Yeah, and Jeremy, now they're going to run that hurry up, strike while the iron's hot. They're back at the line of scrimmage. Craig has it, hands it off back to Keene. Keene runs it up the middle, still on his feet, gains about 7, maybe 8 on the play before he's brought down. 2nd down and 2. Clock going to go under 5 minutes most likely before we see another offensive play.
They're going to spot him just at the 15-yard line, so they'll make it 2nd and 3 now as the Oologah Mustangs go to the hurry-up offense. Here's Craig, and now all of a sudden we've got a timeout, probably a very wise timeout if you're a Bulldog fan, because right now the Bulldogs are playing a little not scared, but definitely playing a little anxious as the Oologah Mustangs have put together a couple of good plays.
Playing anxious, maybe back on their heels a little bit after that long pass. What an incredible job by the Mustangs, Craig, he gave up basically that huge sack, didn't see Cantrell coming, but then to come back on the very next play and have the wherewithal to make the long pass and to get the catch on the tail end of that. I mean, just wow. It was out of bounds, stopped the clock, you know, the whole 9 yards. They come back trying to strike while the iron's hot. Bulldogs defense is just, again, anxious, maybe on their heels a little bit. Good job by the coaches. Bring them over. Let's calm down. We're up by 14. You know, just give them the spiel, basically. We're in control. We don't need to be anxious. Let's just play our game. We've got this. 5 more minutes. Let's go.
We are right at the 5-minute mark as the Mustangs need 2 scores. Wagoner Bulldogs 35, Mustangs 21. And the Mustangs will have a second and a long 3 at the Bulldog 15-yard line. Craig from the shotgun. And here's Craig on the keeper over the left side. He gets to the corner, and he's dragged down by number 6, Deshaun Clark, but he gets inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Clark able to close in quickly because it looked like Craig had plenty of room to run there for a while.
Yeah, he had some room there to run. Made actually a really nice move to get out, you know, outside and gets the first down. First down and 10. He's back to the line of scrimmage in the shotgun. Craig has it.
Here's
hands
McKinney.
It off up the middle.
McKinney, and he will score. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Mustangs. That's number 40. That's the Jimmy McKinney, the 6'1 sophomore. Big hole, real big hole. And looked like he might have pulled up a little early, and then he was able to fall into the end zone.
Yeah, maybe he did kind of thought I'm just going to get in here, but then had to kind of push his way forward. But a pretty good run by McKinney. We've called his name quite a bit, and Mustang is going to attempt the PAT, big-time PAT here. Snaps a little high, kick is up and good. It's going to bring it 35-28, and that was Mark Franklin on the kick, the senior kicker for the Mustangs. 4:39 to go in the fourth quarter. Bulldogs clinging to a 7-point lead here as they're going to get the ball back, or we would expect that they would get the ball back. If you're on the Oologah sideline, you have 2 timeouts. Do you wiggle around with the thought of an onside kick, or do you kick it deep and try to see what your defense can do?
I tell you, Harlan, I'm probably going to kick it. I'm going to kick it deep, and I'm going to trust that my defense is going to be able to hold the Bulldog offense. They have at times, and I've got to trust that if you do an onside kick here, Bulldogs recover. That gives them a really short field, and there's still quite a bit of time left on this clock, and the Oologah Mustangs still have 2 timeouts.
Definitely, I agree with that. You got those 2 timeouts in your pocket. You go ahead, kick it deep, put it in your defensive hands. Show them that you have trust in them. Tell them I want the ball back, get it back for the offense, and see what happens. Unfortunately for the Mustangs, they're kicking it to Evett, Hawkins, and Clark back there. And then also on the offensive side, just the Bulldogs offense in general.
They're going to kick it deep, trying to get it into that end zone, and they will as it hits at about the G of the Wagoner in the Bulldog end zone. So the ball will come out at the 20-yard line, and if you're a Mustang fan, maybe more importantly is there's no time off the clock.
No time off the clock there. That's a big deal for the Mustangs. And but again, from the Mustangs defense, there's so many weapons that the Bulldogs have to go to. They can choose to hand it off to Evett. They've got Rodriguez. They've got the receivers that obviously we have shown they can do an end around. There's all kinds of things they can do here. The Oologah defense has a huge task with 4:39 left to go in the game.
Woodson from the shotgun. He's got Evett as the deep tailback, and Evett will get the call straight up the middle. Here he goes. He's into the Bulldog secondary, and he's still on his feet down the sidelines, and he is going to step out of bounds at about the 34-yard line as Despain looked like he might have been closing in, but I'm not sure. They're actually going to mark him back at the 34, and he stepped out of bounds there.
Looked like he stepped out of bounds there. Stops the clock. You sort of hope in that situation that if he thinks he's going to be caught, maybe just jump down. Keep that clock running. But for the Bulldogs, huge play. Totally shifts the field position. Ball's on the 34-yard line in Mustang territory. 4:27 to go. Ultimately, you want to run the clock, but if you push it in, you get that cushion, once again, of the score.
I believe this number 44, Roman Rodriguez from the Wildcat. Rodriguez takes it himself and he will be tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Looked like there's a little bit of confusion there as Rodriguez went for at least the appearance of a handoff, and there was nobody home.
Yeah, it looked like, I don't know if he was just trying to fake and then pull it down and run it himself, or if he was actually planning to hand it off there, but no one was home. No one was there, and so if nobody's there, the fake doesn't work. You can't give it to anybody. He did the good thing, tried to get something out of it, but again, the clock's moving. We're under 4 minutes now. Second down, about 11 to go. Really didn't, I don't think he lost even a whole yard there, but he definitely didn't gain anything.
Here'll be Woodson from the shotgun on a 2nd and 11. Now all of a sudden a flag comes in. I think we're going to have probably an illegal procedure maybe. Usually that's when that comes in, but no. The Bulldogs call a timeout. Not sure why the flag came flying in.
I'm guessing that they noticed it was going to be the illegal procedure, called the timeout before the flag was actually thrown to kind of save that penalty yardage there. That's just my guess. I don't know, but they picked up the flag. So really a big-time series for the Bulldogs offense. They've had the big play, but what can you do to bleed the clock and make sure that you don't put the ball basically in danger?
Well, Harlan, we talked about that on the last drive of the Mustangs that it was taking quite a bit of time. I believe you said we're at a 6-minute mark, and before you know it, 1 minute and 20 seconds, I looked at the clock, 1 minute and 20 seconds had passed, and they had gone about 50 yards in 1 minute and 20 seconds, and just like that, they were within 7. So the Mustangs obviously have that type of potency in their offense to score quickly. So you're right. Bulldogs need to run a little bit of time off and keep it out of the hands of Craig and the likes of his receiving core. And not only that, McKinney, Despain, Keem, and Ferry, I believe it was.
Yeah, as much as we talk about all the weapons the Bulldogs have, you really got to give credit on the Oologah side. They have some weapons of their own on the offense and the defensive side, and this is why it's a great district battle tonight here at WL Odom. Bulldogs up in this one 35-28.
Woodson trouble with the snap, but he's able to hand it off to Evett, and Evett is able to squirt through and gets to just shy of the 30-yard line as the Mustangs take their second timeout of this half, as Evett is going to get about 4 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 6 when play resumes.
And that's going to be a big-time 3rd and 6 play, on both sides. Depends on your perspective as to what you're thinking about here. But basically, by taking that timeout, the Mustangs committed that they need to stop them right now, right here. If they don't, not saying the Bulldogs could bleed the clock all the way out, but it makes it really difficult for the Mustangs if they don't get the defensive stop right here, right now.
I tell you what, Harlan, I like the end around again on this play. I really do. All the motion going one way. Here comes the wide receiver on an end around going the other way. I really like that play call right now. We'll see what happens.
Jeremy, I like the end around play. What if you go with the double reverse on this one and just see what happens? I don't know.
That's a lot of exchanging of hands in the ball, and I'm not sure if you want to do it that many times, but hey, we'll see what happens.
Never know. Wagner's been known to throw some misdirection out there quite a bit. We'll see what happens. As it looks like they're going to come out in that Wildcat formation with 2 running backs next to him.
They need to get to the 24 on this 3rd and 6. Here's Evan over the left side. Got a convoy in front. Evan will get first down yardage. But unfortunately, I take that back. He did get the first down. The clock will stop because of the first down, and it looked like he was getting tackled out of bounds, but I think he was able to stay in.
And we'll see in a moment, once they get that ball spotted, if it's a first down, the clock should restart here. And the referee does start the clock. It's going to be 3:25 in counting as there's 20 seconds on the play clock. Bulldogs already break the huddle and come to the line of scrimmage. Take your time if you're the Bulldogs. Not in a whole lot of hurry. Now it's getting down to 10, and at least it's under 10 now.
Woodson up under center on a 1st and 10. 1st and 10 play. Here's an inside handoff to number, I believe that was 44, Roman Rodriguez. And we are inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. On that 3rd and 6 play, Evan needed to get to the 24. He got to the 21. Now, I believe that was Rodriguez on an 8-yard carry, 2nd and 2 now, and the Bulldog offensive line right now is showing why they're the number 1 ranked offense in 4A.
That's for sure. They're showing why they're the number 1 team, and they've got to lead the way here because it's all about them and the running backs making room for those running backs. There's the handoff right up the middle. He's got a little bit of room. It's Hawkins. He's dragging people around, and it looks like he's finally pulled down at about, I don't know, Jeremy, the 2-3 yard line there.
Hawkins, it just you look at it and he gets hit once, he gets twice, 3 times, and you still see the pile moving forward. And he gets all the way down to, looks like right at the 2-yard line.
And Jeremy, for a minute there, I thought he was just going to drag the entire Mustang defense into the end zone, and we mentioned it earlier. He just keeps on doing it over and over and over, and it just seems like he shouldn't be able to, but under 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter now. Bulldogs driving deep in Mustang territory. 1st and goal from the 2-yard line.
Woodson up under center as the clock continues to run. And here's Hawkins in for the score. Touchdown Bulldogs. Number 25, Devin Hawkins, finishing what he started from 2 yards away. And Harlan, you gotta think with only 1:41 left, 1 timeout, 2 scores down. You just can't believe that the Mustangs are going to be able to do something with that.
You know, I short of a miracle, knock on wood, or whatever you want to believe about that, the Bulldogs should have this one in hand. And I love the call right there. Give it right back to Hawkins. Let him finish it up there and kind of get that notoriety that comes with scoring the touchdown. For Bulldog fans at home, we got 41 on the board against a really solid defense. You got to be pretty impressed with that.
Gibson, Barnett, and Tanner for the extra point, and it is good. Wagoner Bulldogs 42, the Oologah Mustangs 28. Now, I go back to what we were talking about, Harlan, and we do need to be careful because remember, Keem on an ensuing kickoff after a touchdown was able to return it very quickly for a score. So barring any of that, you just can't it'd be hard to fathom that the Mustangs will be able to put 2 scores up on the board with 1:41 left.
For sure. Even if we played worst-case scenario here, if there was, let's say, a return on that side, you've got the cushion of a 2-touchdown lead here. So if I'm the Bulldogs, honestly, I'm telling my kicker, kick it out of bounds. Let's just kick it out of bounds, take the penalty, because then we're going to make them drive at least some of the field. For sure.
And I tell you what, a lot of the Wagoner Bulldog fans think this one's in the bag as they are trying to get a head start on getting out into the parking lot, as there is a mass exodus right now among the Bulldog faithful.
Certainly a mass exodus as fall break. Maybe people are heading out of town and they're trying to get that jump on it after what they believe the Bulldogs have it sealed up here. But as we said, you know, minute 41 is not a lot of time. There's not a whole lot that we believe could happen in that time, but on Friday nights, or Thursday nights in this case, you never know. You just never know.
Well, and you talked about fall break, and maybe some of these fans are going to get a head start of going on a little mini vacation. Of course, with a mini vacation, you got to have some money. So drop on by Armstrong Bank, our 4th quarter sponsor of Friday Night Bulldogs. And here is a short high kick and fielded by McKinney. And he is taken down at the 37-yard line. And Harlan, I think I'm going with you. I think I'm just going to kick it out of bounds on that.
Well, when I saw who fielded that catch, I'm not sure that's the guy I'm picking out, you know. And we already saw that Keene could take it and do something with it there as well. But you know what? Who's second-guessing? It worked. They're down. The Mustang going to take over on offense at the 38-yard line in their own territory, down by 2 scores. Minute and a half to go. It looks bad for the Mustangs here. It looks really good for the Bulldogs.
We'll see what comes of it with Craig and Despain and along with the rest of his Mustangs. See if they can pull something out of their hat as Craig from the shotgun looking to throw the ball. Craig with a little bit of time, and now it's tackled in the backfield. That's number 25, Devin Hawkins, with a quarterback sack, and we've got a Mustang down on the field, and it looks like he's hurting pretty good. That's number 69, Colin Stoker, and right now it doesn't look good, Harlan.
Yeah, athletic trainer coming out to take a look at him, and hopefully it's just cramping up or something that's not major for sure. But got to point out Devin Hawkins making the huge sack that time after scoring the touchdown. What an incredible play that he was able to come up with there to pin Mustangs even further back deep. We've already shared they're down 14. It's kind of stacked against them here, and you hate to see somebody go down in that type of situation.
Yeah, it looks like they're rolling him over on his back, and it looks like they're messing around with his knee. Hopefully he just tweaked it a little bit and nothing serious. Getting back to our chat room, looks like Alice kind of gave up herself in the chat room. I wasn't going to give her up, but said that she was the class of 87. And I believe Kyle, and I thought that they were classmates, but he was a couple of years after her. I think he was a class of 89, but I know Alice Ann and Kyle know each other, as number 69 is being helped off the field, not able to put a lot of pressure on that knee.
Yeah, and Jeremy, you hope that it's nothing too serious, because that's a senior that's out there, and you don't want to see anybody certainly get injured, but you always want to see those seniors be able to play their entire season, show colleges what they have to offer, make those memories, not just for the next couple of years, but really for the rest of their life. And so we wish him all the best, as he is walking off with a little bit of help, but there's definitely a big limp right there.
Number 69, the senior offensive lineman, Colin Stoker, and we hope everything checks out all right for Stoker.
He's getting a warm reception, Jeremy, over there from the Oologah faithful, and it's nice to see that from their crowd.
It'll be a 2nd and long for the Mustangs, as McKinney showing a little bit of speed and some moves, and now here comes a late flag. And if
maybe
it's
a block in the back, Jeremy.
Well, and it's really unfortunate, because I don't think the block had any bearing on what McKinney was doing in the middle of the field.
Looks like it's actually going to be a holding call there is what they come up with. I thought I saw a block in the back, but either way, it really was away from the ball. He had already passed him. Just one of those things at the end of the game. You're tired, you're fatigued, you're trying to do your job still for your team, and you just hang on to him there.
Yeah, it's going to be a holding call, a 10-yard penalty, and positive yardage now turned negative as the penalty is assessed. The ball is placed at the 32-yard line. 1:07 left in this ball game, and a peculiar play call there as they hand the ball off to McKinney. I'm thinking you've got to heave it down the field.
Certainly, maybe trying to catch the Bulldogs off guard. Probably did a little bit. I'm looking for a long pass to Despain here.
Here goes Craig. That was McKinney on the screen pass, and a great defensive stop by number, I believe that's 27 down there, making the stop. And that is Julio Reyes. We've called his name several times that first game of the season against Coweta. Been kind of quiet ever since. Makes a great play on a screen play that could have gone for a long way.
Definitely made a huge play there. One timeout left for Oologah. They're not going to take it here. The clock's under 30 seconds now in counting. You still expect to see him kind of chunk it down the field and just see what happens on 3rd and 17. He's in the shotgun formation here.
It's Craig from the shotgun, and he's going to hand it off. This is Keem, I believe, and a great shoestring tackle by I believe that was number 1, Lawrence Evett.
And that's probably going to be the last play of the game, Jeremy, unless they can get out here quickly. They're trying to line it back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There is the snap. Craig has it, looking deep down the field, throws it up, and almost picked off by the Wagoner Bulldogs as the receiver became the defender, but that's not really the story as the 4th quarter expires. There's zeros on the board. Wagoner Bulldogs are going to win this one 42-28. And, Jeremy, we talked about it before the game. The last couple times, you haven't seen maybe the fight. Maybe that's a good way to put it in the Wagoner Bulldogs, but tonight I feel like they proved that they are the number 1 team in the state, and they deserve to be there.
Well, Harlan, this game was a lot closer than what the score displays, 42-28, and it was really neck and neck all game long, even into the 3rd quarter. It was really about midway in the 4th quarter when the Bulldogs got up by those 2 scores. But we have talked about the fights and maybe the last couple of games not really seeing that sense of urgency and that that chip on our shoulder, maybe that we had seen earlier in the year. But right here, you saw that why the Bulldogs are still ranked number one, as a very good Oologah team came in, and I think really gave the Bulldogs all that they wanted tonight.
For sure gave them all that they wanted, and we saw why. We talked about the quarterback, Craig, right? Jeremy's going to say his name here in just a second. Peyton Craig. We saw why we talked about him. He has the arm to get the passing yards. He's got the weapons in the receivers to actually be able to hang on to the ball when he throws it to him. And he's got the running backs in Keene and McKinney that could run it out of the backfield and really be weapons from there. And so, and also on the defensive side, the Mustangs did a great job against the Bulldogs, really the whole game until that fourth quarter. Maybe got fatigued in that fourth quarter because the Bulldogs just kept coming at them over and over and over with not one running back, not two, but really 3 or 4 guys that were able to make big plays almost any time.
And the receiving core that Craig had to throw to, Despain and Ferry, both sophomores. Craig himself a junior. If you're a Mustang fan, wow, you've got some real good prospects for the next year. They were tough this year. They gave Wagoner all that they wanted this year, but things looking very well for the Mustangs for next year.
Yeah, Jeremy, and honestly, this may not be the last time for Bulldogs fans that we run in, to Oologah. It may come down to seeing them in the playoffs at some point. You never know what can happen, and so we'll hear some more from them because they are a very good team.
Well, and hopefully you guys at home got a good shot of the Friday Night Bulldogs T-shirts. Those are on sale. You got a black edition and a maroon edition, and I believe they call it a heather gray, edition. Great-looking shirts, and contact your Wagoner High School Mass Communications class for those T-shirts, as they're great-looking T-shirts and a way to support Friday Night Bulldogs in the Wagoner High School Mass Communications class.
Definitely. Speaking, Jeremy, of the Wagoner High School Mass Communications class, we are so appreciative for everything that they do. We get to show up and just talk, and our lives are pretty easy because of that, and it makes it really easy on us. They do all the technical stuff, all the technical support, and they've done a great job, and so we appreciate them very much.
And their teacher, Joy Anderson, leading the charge for that class, and we had a couple of stumbles early on in the season, but from all accounts in our chat room, it seems like everything kind of went without a hitch tonight, video and audio. As last week we struggled, and maybe it was us, I'm not sure, but things went well, and things went well for the Wagoner Bulldogs on the sideline. 42-28, it was neck and neck really all throughout the game until about the midway through the fourth quarter, and the Bulldog offense puts 2 solid drives together, eats a lot of the clock up, and most importantly, we're able to punch it in for the score.
Yeah, just big-time statement game to me by the Wagoner Bulldogs, able to, as Jeremy said, put those huge offensive drives together when it was needed. We haven't been in that situation really at all this year to where the game's starting to wind down, getting into the later stages, and the Bulldogs able to answer that bell, if you will. So really, in my mind, proving that they deserve to be ranked where they are. They're going to have to continue to prove that. We talked about early on, this may be the last really difficult district game for the Bulldogs. You don't ever want to say that they're already won because, again, anything can happen. But probably until the playoffs, we might just be coasting.
Well, and I believe that we may be traveling to Cleveland next week. And again, when you start traveling away, especially on a long trip, again, anything can happen. I think Cleveland's still pretty strong. So we're 7-0 right now, but definitely looking forward, but not too far forward into the future, because we still got 3 games to finish out the regular season. on a cold, crisp Thursday night. As you see, I've got my beanie on, and Harlan's got his long sleeve shirt on. Perfect weather for football tonight.
It is perfect weather for football. This is what you want to have if you're the players or the coaches, because they're running down there. They're all still sweating. They don't know it is cold out here, and just a great night here at WL Odom Stadium. And Jeremy, I want to give one more shout out to all of our sponsors here. We got Smoking Sisters Barbecue and Three Rivers Surgical Center that sponsored the first quarter. Runts Barbecue, Van Taekwondo, the sponsors for the second quarter. Sponsor for the halftime show all season long, Century 21, and we appreciate the whole season sponsorship there. Third quarter, Kangas Productions and Two Way Sales and Service, and then the fourth quarter, Take It to the Bank, the Bulldogs 7-0, Armstrong Bank, our fourth quarter sponsors. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do what we do without your help and your support.
No, we couldn't. And on a great Thursday night for football, a special edition of Friday Night Bulldogs. Appreciate Harlan Johnson alongside of me. He's been here all year. And we'll be traveling to Cleveland next week to take on, I believe it's the Cleveland.
I'm just going to leave it at Cleveland because I don't want to take a guess and throw it out there.
I was going to say Indians, but I know that may be baseball. So, but I just can't. I know they're maroon and yellow and white. So I think we'll be traveling there next Friday. So we appreciate everyone that's logged on tonight in our chat room, logged on to watch the game. All of our sponsors, as Harlan's saying. This is Harlan Johnson. I'm Jeremy Holmes saying good night and God bless America.